lawyer in velvet gown, whispers of law beneath the moon's sweet glow. He's here to guide you through the undertow, from tales of love lost and battles won, to secrets that hide when the day is done. He'll paint the night with stories so stark. Welcome to Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into Family Law After Dark. The lawyer's voice smooth like leather, piecing lives only he can tether. In the sultry jazz lounge, let the wisdom flow. Feel the rhythm in the late night glow. Through custody tangles and alimony strife, he navigates the drama of everyday life. With a wry wink and a cheeky remark, let's unravel Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into Family Law After Dark.
Good evening, everybody. This is Omar Serrato, host of the Tilted Lawyer podcast, joined by Bruce and Brad and Pam, I think for like the second time ever on Family Law After Dark. She's wearing her green Tilted Lawyer sweater, which is much appreciated. Look at that, man. That does look like a comfy sweater.
Quality. Great. Nice and warm.
I can't co-sign on the green because of the Celtics, and I'm a Lakers fan, but I will make an exception for that shade of green. It's 1 p.m. evening. Erica P. In some areas of the world, it's happy hour somewhere. You know what I mean? I am enjoying some Jameson Stout whiskey. I am halfway lubricated in preparation of Dominic's selected cases. By the way, hey Dominic, just so you know, on the Roadcaster, I did not cut the recording from the first show, so you're just going to get one big, long-ass recording, and you're going to have to cut and slice, paste, whatever you do. All right, so later on in the show, we're going to be joined by my sister, Anessa, but until that happens, Pam, you are the sole source of female energy for the time being.
Oh, boy.
Until and unless others decide to join. There is a scrolling voicemail line on the bottom of the screen if you choose to participate. Your participation is much appreciated. Is that the word I'm looking for? It's greatly appreciated. Dominic will screen your voicemail, and if you feeling squirrely, you might even join us live and participate with us live and banter about and have a good time. But it is Friday, and it is time for some Family Law After Dark, our first of 2025, and what has been a wildly successful 2024. We're hoping for the same success. And by the way, we're like 750 subscribers away from 20,000. We need to get that up. We need to hit 20K already. I feel like I've been sitting on the 20K banner for like a good month or 2 months or however long it's been. But we're trying to get there. So hopefully that happens. So let's get started with this first case. Hey, Pam, how old are you?
How old am I?
Oh,
you don't have
boy.
to say. I know that's a faux pas to ask that, but I asked it anyway.
Just ask Bruce how old he is.
Oh, you're the same age as Bruce?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I like that. I know that
We're twins
I know
in
that,
green.
Yep.
Yeah, Packers fans. What does your hat say? What is that? A Laura Owens reference?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh,
that's
Yeah.
Rosalind Duke's merch line.
Yes, Rosalind.
It's from
Yeah.
June 10th.
If anybody wants the link, I'll put it in the chat.
do it. Brad is what, 35, 36,
Mhm.
36.
35.
Almost to 40, sir. Almost to 40. I am 44. So I don't know why I felt the need to announce everybody's ages, but I did it anyway. But here we are. We have an experienced panel. Bruce was so mad at me on the last live stream that I did with him.
Yeah, I'm going to need a
Oh, boy.
nudity rider before we start this flat tomorrow.
We need a nudity rider. There needs to be a safe word. Just
A nudity writer.
Oh, we were talking about Jingris, and I was so excited and just in a mood that day that I felt the need to go into the nether regions of discourse.
Oh, boy.
And I did. And Bruce kept on trying to I'm just looking for truth. And he's trying to elevate the conversation. It's like, slow down, Bruce.
Well, it was
need to take
Lauren's
it down a
channel.
couple pegs.
We can't just take over Lauren's channel.
I did. I didn't mean to take over her. I did ask her for her permission, though. And so it was a lot of fun. What's up, Ness?
What's up?
It's
Hi,
good
guys.
to see you. It's good to see you. By the way, it's not a announcement on gender that I have the women on bottom here. You know what? Just for that.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Here, how about that?
There you go.
I didn't mean to put it. You know what? We're going
Packers and
in
the Celtics on the
alphabetical.
bottom. I see how it is.
There we go. There we go. I'm actually, you know what? I'm adopting the Lions as my team for the playoffs. They're my team. I would like to see them win a Super Bowl. I just don't want to see the Chiefs win. That's my thing.
Nobody wants to see the Chiefs win.
Everybody loves an
Oh,
underdog, man. The Vikings
I'm so
or the
sick
Lions.
of the Chiefs, man.
Either way.
Yeah. Freaking Mahomes. Okay. Before I say something to get myself canceled, it almost happened. It almost happened. Let's get
Fantasy
into our
football
first.
is over. The Chiefs can tank.
Oh yeah. They're still like 16-1 or something like that, man, or 15-1. God, they win for no reason. All right. So this first person, and by the way, Dominic has selected all of these cases for us to talk about. I have no knowledge of what I'm about to read, so let's hope for the best. Hey, Dominic, what you drinking over there?
Nothing, just water. I've been drinking too much this whole week, so
oh
I gotta
yeah.
cut back.
We learned on the Discord that he was out getting super hammered. He was out with the boys slamming nicotine patches.
What?
Oh
Pouches.
He was slamming nicotine
The
patches. Could you?
Zins.
I don't know. You know what? I'm not
Patches
as,
or
Okay, look,
pouches?
I gotta defend myself. The Zins
Like
with
Skol?
with like a brewski is like impeccable. Like you'll never get that kind of buzz anywhere else. That's all I'm gonna
What?
say. You gotta try it.
Is it a
kids
patch?
these days.
What is
From
it?
a nicotine
It's
patch?
a pouch. It's a
What?
No, it's a pouch. Like you put it on, like in your mouth on your gum.
Oh, is this that stuff? What is it like? It starts with a Z or something? Or
Yeah,
Zen.
Zin.
Yeah.
yeah, I've heard of that.
He had me try one before a live stream, and it was like, what is this shit, dude? It was like making my throat tingle. It was like, oh, my virgin throat
That doesn't
with
sound
this
safe.
with these. You know what? I don't vouch for it, man. It didn't feel safe. I would not. I would not do it again.
I'm surprised it took them so long to figure out putting it in a pouch is better than they used to just put it in their lip and then it was like all in their teeth.
Oh yeah, the
Gross.
raw.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that has tobacco in it, but like
Fresh
the
cut.
Zins, they don't. It's just like straight nicotine.
Really?
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, it tastes really bad, and it's a young man's game. I'll just say that. How about that? Y'all could have it. I'll just stick with my whiskey and cigars. That's good enough for me. You get a good enough buzz from that. Let's get into this hypothetical. So this lady, or this guy, is 31. Mother-in-law wants a weekly dinner during the weekdays, but it messes with my schedules and preferences. Dominic, what the fuck with this one? I'm not doing it.
Oh.
Could you find
Alrighty
me a
then.
different one?
Fast.
No, I
I
want to
mean-
read it. It sounded like the Gilmore Girls, actually.
No,
Like
too
plot
late,
of the
man.
Gilmore Girls.
I'm like
I
supposed to
love that
like comment on
knows
his
the Gilmore
weekly
Girls.
schedule. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it, Dominic. It was a little bit much. Find
I
me
mean,
better one than that.
I enjoyed going to grandma's on Sundays and having dinner and washing clothes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Would you want to go on a Friday?
Friday, I wouldn't necessarily mind Friday, but my mom wouldn't have been available Friday.
Hmm.
Sunday
Sure.
dinner at grandma's every week. I will
Week.
take it. She
People
makes you work
definitely,
for her food, for your food though.
Because Gilmore Girls was on Friday night, and I'm like, what if they want to go on a date? Like, what's happening?
Hey, is that a show that you watch, Bruce?
I
Tell me
almost
all about
won,
the Gilmore Girls.
I almost single-handedly won a trivia night based on Gilmore Girls because of my deep Gilmore Girl knowledge.
All right. Well, let me move on to this next one. I vetoed the first one because Dominic, what the fuck, dude? What is even that? Okay.
20-year-olds don't even
tried.
know problems yet.
Oh no, they don't.
That's what most of these posts are.
Yeah.
Well, this lady is 28. I'm ready to leave my husband, who's 29, after what he said during a fight about his phone addiction. Could I be overreact? All right, this seems like
It's a
an
big
actual
problem
flad.
days, yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot to say to this young lady. Maybe. I don't know.
Have you
Let's
even
see what
read
she
the
has to
story?
say.
And he's got a lot to say.
Yeah, well, just off of the strength of the title. Well, let's see what we got here. All right. So my husband has an insane phone addiction that's fueled by his video games. How would she even know that? I can see a lot of conclusory statements in our future. Let's just see.
Yeah.
When he's not playing video games, he pretends to be involved in our family. We have a 2-year-old child by sitting on his phone on the couch, texting his Discord about video games. Or he's on YouTube watching hack tutorials and streams, but he's not playing. So what am I so mad about? Well, we used to watch
tutorials.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm assuming like cheater tutorials. It must be like how to cheat at Call of Duty.
This guy's got the aimbot.
Maybe he does. We
Three
used
people
to
get that.
watch shows together, comment on what's going on, laugh at the jokes. We used to take rides at night and talk in the car. Granted, with a child, it's much harder for us to get out. But even after I spend 20 minutes looking for something for us to watch together, he'll be in his phone screen within 5 minutes. Well, if you're spending 20 minutes looking for something to watch, what is he supposed to do? I guess would be my counter to that, but I'll continue. By the way, if I say anything out of bounds, Pam, feel free to excoriate me.
I will, don't worry.
Ness, you too. I'd say Ness, but Ness thinks a lot like I do. I asked him to play a card game with me a few nights ago when he agreed, but by the time our child went to sleep, he was over the idea and wanted to play video games. It was one of my final attempts at just trying to spend time together, and I honestly went to the bedroom alone and cried. Oh, boy. I spend every single night going to bed alone because he gets on to play video games. What's going on with intimacy, then, you might ask? I'll get there. Any message he gets from his video game buddies is more interesting than anything we could be doing. He could have our child pulling on him looking for attention, and he will actually suck his teeth if he's too deep into watching a video. All right. Well, maybe this guy has some maturity issues. Maybe he does. He's 29.
Yeah, he needs a binky.
Yeah. Well, what he needs is his alone time in a man cave.
Suck
With a
his
pinky.
teeth? What does that mean?
I'll tell you in a minute.
I can't wait for
I'm
this.
taking a. Well, I got a lot to say about this one. Let me muddle through here. Any message he gets from his video, anything, yeah. So this has gotten to the point where the last few months that I make very sly and irritated comments about his phone. He gets extremely defensive and will even throw it. But if I so much as get up to pee, by the time I come back, he's immersed in it again. Like he couldn't effing wait for the moment I got up so we could snatch it back up again.
I mean, it's not surprising if you act irritated towards someone, they will become defensive.
Yeah.
What did you expect? Did you expect someone to be very receptive of irritated comments?
This is like that thing
nobody.
where
I don't know if he's really ready for a relationship.
Well, he might not be, but he's in it now. He's got a
True.
2-year-old. It doesn't matter if he's ready. He's in it.
Yeah, but she should have known that before now. Like,
But
this
she's
didn't just start.
she should have known it, but she's a baby herself, you know. And of course,
Young
Well,
and
you know,
idealistic.
I think all of these parties would benefit from another 10 years of age. But here they are. They're in the late 20s, and they're going to have to get through it somehow. They got a 2-year-old that's relying on them to keep them alive, and so this is what we're facing. Yeah, he's got. I would say this: they both have maturity issues, from what I can gather. But I'm going to finish this hypothetical before I impose judgment. What am I trying to say? This has gotten to the point where sometimes in the middle of an actual climax in a
Lord.
sometimes in the middle of an actual climax in a movie,
Ooh.
I will suddenly hear motor fest. That is a poor choice of words. What is she
Yeah.
talking about?
And the
seemed
way
like
you stopped it, I was
At the
like,
most important point of the movie, he's completely dissociated from it.
Yeah,
This is a metaphor.
maybe they're watching like a Blake Lively flick or something. You know,
Oh, boy.
what guy is going to be
exactly,
invested in
MG Law. Phrasing.
that?
This is a metaphor.
She
The
says,
climax.
sometimes in the middle of an actual climax in a movie, I will suddenly hear Motorfest racing sounds coming from his phone because there he is, sneaking a YouTube video in mid-movie. When I try to start a convo or tell him something I heard or saw, he can never just put his phone down and say, "Oh yeah, tell me about it." He will actually rush me through my story by rolling his eyes and saying, "Okay." Oh, that's irritating. Almost like, get on with it. Phone still unlocked in his hand, just waiting for the moment I speak my last word, and the burden of listening is off his plate. So at this point,
Oh my Lord.
I've grown extremely unattracted to him. He does the bare minimum for the house because he's always so busy playing video games on his phone or napping in the middle of the day because he stayed up too late playing. Oh, I can't even use my man cave comment anymore. Just today, he left me with the baby for 4 hours to nap, and when he finally returned to the living room, he laid on the couch on his phone while the baby climbed all over me. I made another sly comment and told the baby to go play with dad because since he hasn't seen me in a few hours, this led to him sucking his teeth, saying, "What do you want me to do?" Wow. So naturally, I just ended up feeling nothing towards him lately. He's becoming a burden more than anything. Just another mess maker to clean up after a child. She's likening him to a child.
Child part 2.
Yeah, I haven't wanted to have sex at all. How could I want to have sex after a day of watching him do absolutely nothing but sit on his ass and PS5 ignoring us and then napping? After a day of cleaning and tending to the baby and cutting a myriad of different effing fruits all effing day, of course I don't want to F him, bro.
Bruh.
Dominic, is that how you talk, man?
I want some fruit salad now.
I just want a Zen patch, bro. The fuck?
Wow.
Give me the Rizmas.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, man.
Did it say they were married? Are they married?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. No, they're in it, Pam. They're in it.
I feel like she got pregnant on accident. Like I really want it to
Maybe
be
they
that
did.
way. I really want it to be that way because nobody should procreate with this on purpose.
Well, let me finish this before I comment. So, genuinely, I laid into him today after his nap. Genuinely, I laid into him after his nap. I let it all out. After a few nights ago, he brought up that we don't F, and I didn't really respond. But today I said, how the F could I even want to? You're useless. You're here, but never present. You're just a piece of effing furniture here at this point. I think we're seeing the source of the defensiveness on his end. What about the whole nothing you contribute is supposed to make me want to get wet for you? Also, when? Should I seduce you for 5 minutes real quick before you turn on your PS5 and go F off alone in the bedroom like every other night? How sexy. Isn't she a pill? Anyway, he said...
Oh boy.
Bruce, Brad, I'm so curious. What would you do if some lady said that to you? What would your
Wait,
response be?
Are you saying I'm the guy in the situation?
Just hypothetically speaking,
Uh-oh.
if some lady started talking to you like that, what would your response be?
Man, it's hard to have a reasonable conversation if somebody's this angry or resentful.
Yeah. And I think you
Um,
just kind of hit the nail on the head just
it's
by
very
saying that.
difficult to even get started. It's almost like they have created so much animosity that how do you even bridge that gap back, right?
Yeah, it's
It's a challenge.
when you lose respect for your partner and you stop talking to them as if they're your partner, and now you're talking to him as if he's a child, then it's really just kind of over, isn't it? What are the odds that before the end?
I mean,
of,
to be fair, he kind of it does sound like, I mean, I don't know what this guy's doing. Does he have a job or like what?
Right.
She's just like he's sitting around all day. Like, what is this guy doing?
yeah, I mean, he's not here to defend himself.
Maybe he is
has
a
job.
child. I don't know.
I mean, they got to pay bills. He's got to be doing something. Maybe he's not.
Presumably. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the full context of it, but
Yeah.
if anyone ambushed me after a nap, I'd be pretty fucking pissed too.
The fuck?
Well, thank God it was after the nap. Imagine if it was before.
Oh.
I really
I
would
don't-
have been pissed.
I mean, she has
Yeah.
legitimate complaints. It's just that being angry about it is probably not the best way to get good results.
Well, here's the thing, man. I know that we know he's making this sound a kind of way. We're getting a one-sided argument here. I don't know what from his perspective he's feeling. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that she's made him sound like as bad as he could possibly be, and I don't have his perspective, but I could imagine it. And so I'm coming at this from a position of them both being wildly immature, not ready for what they're involved in, and there's not really a good way out of it. And so for me, what are the odds that she's going to remain faithful to this guy at the end of 2025? And let me ask you a follow-up with that. What are the odds that she's currently right now already have a side piece? What's the over-under?
I don't know, but women are more tolerable.
Not in their 20s.
I think that's I don't know. I don't know how
That
that's
is a gross
relevant.
generalization, it is. But
I don't know how that's
well-
relevant. I think the key here is that this lady's married to a guy she thinks, in her assessment, has addiction, phone addiction, video game addiction. And addiction, I think, is defined as something that you have to do compulsively that gets in the way of you doing things you'd otherwise want to be doing. Like it impacts you in a negative way so you can't accomplish things. Maybe you get fired from your job. Maybe you can't make enough money. Maybe you can't clean the house. Like it impacts your life in a negative way. So
well,
the
just
question
off
is,
of
number
reading this
one,
here.
she writes this huge long post and it's mostly these weird complaints. And it's not about, hey, how do we figure out if this is a real addiction? And then if he does agree that he has an addiction, what do we do about it? It's all this other complainty stuff.
Oh,
So I think
boy.
she needs to get to the point where she needs to find a strategy for solving a real problem.
Here's a clue. I didn't read this last paragraph, but he says anyway. He said, "Okay, well, don't be surprised when I have someone else." Then,
Oh boy.
so
Yeah,
this far
he's
we've gone
probably
that
the
way.
one who's
He might be.
cheating.
He might be. Yeah, I'm not
and
by
that's
any
why he's
means trying to
attached
defend
his
him.
phone.
Here's the problem is that all of the things that she's talked about so far has been him at home. He's trying to find solace in anything that's not her at the moment.
Yeah.
And his language and saying, well, don't be surprised when I do something with someone else. He hasn't gotten to that point yet. But
Yeah.
because his language of when would not be used there.
He said so.
Yeah.
He
But
says,
He could already be thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to finish this hypo so I could be done with it, and then we're going to continue the discourse. So he says, not to mention, that was a disgusting effing thing to say, and a deal breaker for me. But he actually made all of this my fault, didn't even address the issue at hand, flipped it on me, being it that I'm already fully experiencing ick towards him. That was
Ick?
kind of well, she's a Gen Zer for sure. That was
Yeah.
kind of the cherry on top. This isn't even fixable at this point, is it? What would you even do in a situation like this? Well,
If it
My
was a deal
response,
breaker, why are you asking Reddit?
Right.
well, she's it's one of these things. It's like you have your mind made up, but you need validation to make yourself feel better to ultimately break the deal. You know?
The vibe I get is that each of these two people has this sense that the other one should know more about what they're thinking than they actually do.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I get.
Yeah. 100%. Ness, you have something to say.
I was just going to say that I feel like all respect is lost. If he's already saying, well, don't be surprised if I have someone else, I think respect between the two is no longer there.
Yeah.
Let me just offer some observation from my dealings with young folks in their 20s. Oftentimes, what they are fixated on is a pre-prescribed path of how their relationship is supposed to go. I feel like a lot of times young men, they get married, not because they genuinely want to get married, but they think it's just the next logical path in the game of life that they're playing. Sometimes they get married because they're trying to correct the evils of what they've seen in their life experience. Sometimes it's literally just, all right, I just graduated. Now I got a job. Now I got to get a wife. Then I'm going to have a kid. It's all linear, you know? And it's like this idea that we grow up with these preconceived notions of how relationships and how happily ever after is supposed to look. You know, it's all Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella and happily ever after and going to the castle and retreating off into the sunset on the stallion, horse, or whatever, bullshit. And then, you don't ever picture, you know, what happens after the wedding. And now, gosh, a 29-year-old man raising a 2-year-old who's married to a wife who despises him. I think that oftentimes I hear this repeated a lot. And again, I'm not trying to defend this guy. I'm just trying to offer some context. But I hear it repeated a lot that men are easy. It's easy to keep a man happy. It's easy to keep a man. All you got to do is you got to feed him. You got to F him. You got to keep the house clean. And then that's it. Keep his balls drained and, you know, keep his belly full and you're good. And they oversimplify men to that degree. All the while having these demands that, you know, he's the fixer, he's the provider, or maybe not the sole provider, but a provider. He's a dad, he's a husband, he's got to be this and that, he's got to do all these things, and my needs and my wants, and you never pay attention to me, and all of these things. And then he doesn't really have any room in the context of a relationship like this to vent his frustrations that very organically arise in the perils of having to be the patriarch in a young burgeoning family. It's hard work to do that on both parties, but he doesn't have an outlet with his wife to discuss. And I think you have to look at if he really is truly addicted to video games and his phone or whatnot. What is the root cause of that addiction? And usually it has something to do with what Bruce said. I think he heard you say the other day, Bruce, it was something about like a serotonin release or some kind of release or whatever, but it was like a defense mechanism. Dopamine hits. Yeah, yep. To try to deal with all the bullshit going around in life. He can't get it, not sexually and not through the food. He's not getting it supportively through his wife because she's fed up with him. I'm not even saying that it's her fault. I'm just saying that there is no respite for this man. Every time he walks into his house, he's perceived to be a failure. Every time he sits on the couch, he's perceived to be lazy. Every time he's watching a movie and he's not engaged with it, he's thought to be made less than. He can't satisfy his wife. He's not a good father. He's not a good provider. He's not a good watcher of movies. He's absent when he's in the home. What respite does this man have from all of that? And let's just assume, I'm just going to assume because we don't know if he's working or not. Let's just assume that he's working a full-time job, 40 hours a week, where because he's 29, he's unlikely to be like the CEO or, you know, top level employee over there or wherever he's working. So he's somebody's employee. He's working for somebody and probably made to feel less than because he's not making enough money. And he's not getting emotional support on the job. The only joy in this man's life in his waking time seems to be on his phone. So no wonder he would retreat to that, given the environment that he's being forced to endure. I'm not saying he's without fault. I'm just saying that from his perspective, it makes a hell of a lot of sense that he would retreat into his phone when he's sitting there with a woman that's constantly espousing her own needs and denigrating his needs and saying that how he's less than and insufficient in being able to provide for her and her needs because of a million different reasons. From his perspective, that's what I see. Now, from her perspective, she also is
experiencing the same thing. She could be not getting paid enough.
exactly,
but she doesn't get to take a step back and be on her
say it,
phone.
Ness. Say what I was about to say. I already said that you and I think alike. You're about to prove it to me right now. Tell me from her perspective what she is seeing.
Well, she's, she can be, like I said, she can be doing the exact same thing, working hard, working her ass off, not getting paid enough, but she doesn't get to take a back seat when she gets home and say, you know what, I want to be on my phone. I don't want to be a mom right now. I don't want to cook. I don't want to clean. I don't want to. And she doesn't get to be excused.
She wants a 4-hour nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seriously.
And she needs one. She needs a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some food, and maybe to get her balls drained, or the functional equivalent.
The lead bowl.
Her vulva drained. I don't know, man, but she needs things. He needs things. I'm not, look, neither one of these two, although immature. And they're not bad people. They're just unqualified for what they're being pressed to do, which is to be a husband, to be a wife, and to be a mother and a father. They're both exhausted. They're exhausted. And she's putting up with this guy who she feels is not pulling his weight. She's probably, it sounds like, the primary parent. Like, she does all the stuff and spends the most time with the kids and does all these things. And she's effing exhausted because that's really, really hard to do all day long. And in the times,
2-year-old.
Yeah. And she doesn't have any, it seems like, any, I don't know, time to spend with other adults. It's always her 2-year-old and her husband who's not interested in her. That is a shitty way to live. And so no wonder she feels that way.
I think once the reality of, having a child in the marriage came about, the two of them had no idea what they were getting themselves into. And it sounds like from that point forward, he kind of checked out, and she, had 2 kids from that point on. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it's a matter of
it's hard to say because we don't know who's making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
We just don't know. But he might have a legit addiction, which,
he may.
If somebody has a legit addiction, yelling at them is not the way to solve it.
But if he were to be the sole provider, say she's just a stay-at-home mom, does that excuse all of this behavior?
You can't say it excuses it because it's not going to look, because if they continue behaving like that, then they're doomed. I mean, they might already be doomed. It might already be too late. But, it's not that we're trying to excuse behavior here. They're both wrong in varying degrees.
We're trying to understand.
They both gave up on the relationship.
Yeah.
At the same, it sounds like almost at the same, time. Like,
I don't even think it's giving up on the relationship. I think what Omar was saying previously was that the man's need to feel like he's accomplishing something can really, especially early in your career, and you've got a new family, and you're not really getting that dopamine hit of saying you're doing the right thing, and it doesn't feel as good right now. So retreating from the marriage, from the household, and going to the video games where you can succeed by the amount of time that you invest into it. And if he constantly feels the need that he's going back to it to get that dopamine hit, to say, well, I just leveled up. Well, I just did this. Well, I just did this. And it's rewarding his brain with that, I'm being able to fulfill something in my life, then at least it's something.
Well, I'll tell you how this looks at 48. Right now he's 28. And right now I think he's probably going through a little bit of shock about the reality of his life. He's married. He's got a 2-year-old, and his wife thinks he's a piece of shit. Typically when you're in your 30s and your 40s, what he's manifesting here with video game addiction, it manifests difference. And so, like, these feelings of inferiority and the defensiveness that he experiences and he feels usually manifests as internal retreats. Like, maybe you're not just like immersed in video games or your phone because you know that's a shitty thing to do. But you're at the same time exhausted and emotionally and mentally drained. And whatever you say, whatever you do, you're always made by your partner to feel like you're less than and unimportant and a failure. And so where is the retreat? You're not going to be able to go talk to your boys about it. It's like, hey guys, my wife makes me feel like shit. They're not going to give a F about that, man. They're going to,
but she feels like crap too, because
right.
He has no
So
respect for her.
I was going to do this from both perspectives. So from his perspective and from hers, because it looks different when they get older, right? So right now it looks like this, which is an obvious like shit show. Like they're both unequipped to handle what they're going through. But when he gets older, he's not going to be doing all those things. He's going to be retreating inward, and he's going to be just as absent. It's just going to look differently. And he's going to feel just as shitty. He might not vocalize it as much. And he might have no place to vocalize it. And so it's going to turn into like this evolving and growing feeling of resentment and hatred towards your partner that it's not a way to live, man. He's going to feel that way. And when she gets into her 30s and 40s, it doesn't manifest in this like this very adolescent vitriolic way. It manifests very differently. Like it's more like she becomes accepting of it and she doesn't voice it as much, and she just becomes cold, and they both become cold towards each other, and then they just stay that way for years and years and years until they wake up one day and they're in their 50s and they're like, fuck, man. And they want to get a divorce. They want to start over. They can't make up for the lost time. They've been living this way because they've been unable to nurture each other as partners because of varying degrees of their partner being unable and unwilling to fulfill or meet their needs, and their inability to get their own peccadillos off of their chest. And so they sit there in angry, infuriated, depressing, soul-crushing silence, and it sucks. And then you get people like this in my office, and they want to come and they want to get a divorce. And oh man, these people in their 20s, I could tell you right now, they could get a divorce. I'll have their divorce done in 6 months. But if this lasts until they're say like 39, 49 years old, oh, we're talking about a couple years of litigation, because they're going to fight over every single little thing. They're going to have such disdain and hatred for each other, because not only have they both gotten a raw deal because they're both inadequate partners, but they're going to perceive that they have wasted their lives with this piece of shit who doesn't give an F about me or what I'm going through, or doesn't care to participate or be present in the moment and all these different things. And it's been going on for years, and they're no longer going to only mourn their shitty partner. They're going to mourn the missed opportunities in life for something better. And it doesn't matter how realistic their thought processes are going to be. They're going to perceive that, and they're going to feel it, and right or wrong, they're going to feel it for the rest of their lives.
So, Omar, these people are already married. They already have a kid that's 2 years old.
Yeah.
Do you think their divorce would really take a lot less time than 5 years down the road or something?
Yeah,
Really?
because I can't imagine that it's a long-term marriage. They're probably married for a couple of years, 3-4 years or whatever. It's a short-term marriage. Alimony is going to be like half the time of the marriage, so that's not really a big concern. The biggest, most complicated thing is going to be the parenting plan, custody and visitation. Mom's going to be the primary parent. Dad's going to get, as close to 50-50 as we can get them. They probably don't have a lot of property to divide, so what's to argue about?
But if this kid was 6 or 8 instead of 2, you think the divorce would really take that much longer to do?
Oh, no.
Like they would it be negotiation that would take so much more time, or what?
If they were older, the reason why it takes longer is because there's more things to argue about. So age of the kids is one thing, but acquired assets during the marriage is quite another. And so when you're like 28, 29, y'all don't have any money, and you're living, basically below poverty line, and, just trying to, you're living paycheck to paycheck, basically. there's not much to divide. But when they're like in their 40s and they own houses and cars and retirement accounts and
Okay. That's
you know,
assuming they get that far.
assuming they get that far, yeah.
Okay.
And so my whole comment about them waiting to get this done is it's twofold. It's the accumulation of assets. That's one thing. That's practically inevitably what's going to happen. But the other part is the growing disdain between the parties really matters. It really matters because when you're trying to negotiate a settlement, if she doesn't want to give up what she thinks that she's entitled to, right or wrong, she's going to fight for it. Ever more illogically, the angry that she gets, and that tends to happen in these longer marriages. All of the cases that I have that are over a year old usually involve long-term marriages where they've been married for over 10 years.
Yeah.
The short-term marriages are simple. They haven't developed that kind of negative currency over the course of their lives. They don't have, especially if they're younger, have accumulated enough assets. And it's easier to walk away from something that you've invested 5 years in than something that you've invested 25 years in.
One of the most interesting divorces that I've heard of is a lawyer on YouTube where he's agreed to a divorce, and he said she can take whatever she wants because I know that I can earn whatever I lose in the divorce, and I still want access to my kids. So he basically signed away everything and said, take it.
Yeah. Which isn't advisable, but good for him for doing that. I see his point. I do see his point. Sometimes, even though the parties aren't trying to weaponize the children, sometimes access to the children becomes a driving factor in divorce settlements nationwide, worldwide even. And so that's my take on that. Am I off base in any of this with my view as them as inadequate partners in their youths and how this is going to progress? Well, let me ask a better question. Let's just say that you were tasked with trying to get them to fix it. How would you tell them to fix it?
I would get 2 sheets of paper, put them in front of each other, and I would say, what are your expectations for the other one's behavior?
So drain my balls and have her make me a sandwich every now and then. How about that? Boom. Done. Happy.
But the goal is to allow them to process it and put it into words what they are expecting from the other person, because that would be the first thing for dialogue.
This is trying to solve that problem I mentioned before, where it seems like they each expect each other to read each other's minds. Brad is trying to solve that problem. Yeah, and Brad, I'm not going to sign your dating contract.
Come on, Bruce.
Stop asking.
This is something that should have happened before they got married, right? Because if this was his, behavior before marriage, and even her behavior, what did they talk about to say, like, this is what we want from each other in a relationship going forward?
Well, let me ask you, Pam. Let me just ask
this
you
is
practically.
why I'm not married, right? Because
but what I was going to say is, what conversation that are you going to have with a 23-year-old that's going to reveal that information in a reliable way?
You would see at some point how they live, and it's a red flag.
Exactly.
Okay.
Red flag, do not
Ness,
go.
how old are you? You're 30? 30.
Oh, I'm 28.
Oh, shit. You're a youngster. Well, you seem like you're 30. Okay, well, I'm just going to posit a guess. It's not even a guess because I know you, because you're my sister. You were a much different person at 23 years old than you are now at 28.
Yes.
You just were. When you were 23, 5 years ago, you were, I can't use the R word, you were kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Now at 28 years old, you seem to be a lot more confident and sure of yourself and less existential crisis and more, I kind of know who I am and what I want to do, and you're ready to go.
Absolutely.
You're a much more a viable marriage candidate now than at 22. Whoever at 20 was going to try to marry you at 22 or 23, I will pull them aside and say, hey.
There's no way.
She's not ready, man. She's kind of dumb. And you're kind of dumb too. For thinking that, I mean, I would not tell him like that, but I would have a conversation about.
If I were to marry whoever I was dating at 23, oh man.
Wouldn't that? Oh, I've done that once. Look how that one turned out. Yeah, it's a bad idea, man. You're not ready at a certain age. It takes a little bit of bacon in the oven before the bread gets rid of all the soggy parts in the middle.
Yeah.
The one problem with mind reading, though, is you don't want to put expectations down. That turns it into a transactional thing, because when you do that, then it just becomes I met the goal and then now I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I don't agree with like this whole idea that I've heard some therapists, I've heard some people on YouTube say that, oh, you should just like plan out sex with your partner like every day at 6 p.m. You're definitely going like it becomes like a thing, and then it just becomes like this transactional thing, and it's not organic, and it causes its own problems. Like you think you're solving it because you're treating a symptom, but you're not treating the root cause of it. And there's a lot of different varying roots with these two folks, with these two young people. I'm not sure if they can fix what is ailing them, because I think that the people that they expected out of marriage was not who either of them had in mind in the end. And throw in they have to keep alive a 2-year-old in the mix of all of that. And they can't even focus on those things because they got to keep this baby alive. And so I'm not saying that they're doomed, but what if they are truly endeavoring to save their marriage, they need a full-on reset. And they need to have some honest conversations about what they thought they were getting and what they actually got, and whose fault that may or may not be. And just start there. And wherever they end up is wherever. Look, it might not be salvageable. Matter of fact, it's probably not salvageable. But unless they start getting real honest about what they expected and what they received, who they want to be and future expectations and what they want out of life, and who's responsible for what and all of these different things, and they're doomed to failure anyway. So call it a marriage. I'd recommend getting split now and, trying again in the next life or the next relationship or in your 30s when you're far more mature and ready to handle the perils of all of that. But I'll tell you what, the perils are what they are, and they're not going away. That 2-year-old isn't going anywhere. These people are going to be attached to each other for the next 20 years, no matter what.
I think if the vibes were a little better, maybe then some therapy could help. But like, if they're already to the point of like, oh, just you wait until I cheat. Like, I don't know if therapy's going to help.
I think once respect is gone, there's no willingness to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, this was getting into my man cave idea, and CJ Lorraine reminds me of it with this comment. She says, I was married for 52 years. We were like oil and water. Your spouse should not be your only interest. 100%. He should not. I'll tell you what, I love my wife, but she's effing boring, man. If I had to engage with her 24 hours a day, constantly, I would be so bored out of my mind. I need to have my own private space. I need to do my own thing. Sometimes I need to sit there and play Madden for like an hour.
Everyone
most people, though, we're all
maybe
boring,
your
though.
interests aren't aligned, and she's
And
not.
that's okay.
It's actually a really fun time, guys.
I would not want her to sit down and like examine Magnus Carlsen's game against Nepo the other day for an hour.
Everybody has different hobbies. Everybody has different extrovert energy levels. Let's not throw Omar's wife under the bus.
Yeah.
No, not. Hey, I'm fully acknowledging for her to have to spend 24 hours with me. It's like, how bored would you be? Jesus, I am boring. I'm a dork. I have nerdy tendencies, man. I am interested in nerdy things. I like to study chess. I like to play Madden. I like to, I have a man cave so I could separate myself and just decompress. Men and women both need that.
Everyone needs that separation. Like, you can't be completely codependent on someone either.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
You do have to have your own interests. It's just not to the point where this guy's just literally sitting on his phone, ignoring you the whole rest of the time. I don't know. I was young. My parents, got married, and I from the time I can remember, and I'm sure it was before I was even 5 years old, their relationship was not good. So I, may have learned early, right? What kind of expectations I had for a relationship. And if that couldn't be, something that was mutual between two people, then it wasn't going to happen, which is why I'm still single. But, I was not in the world of, I didn't have two parents that lived happily ever after. So a lot of these, people in their 20s, if they're not exposed to different types of relationships and stuff, it's like you don't even think about, you know, the conversations in your 20s before you get married. Hey, what's going to happen when we start having kids? Like, how is that going to change things? You know, I mean, I don't know. I just recommend having all these things kind of talked through prior to, you know, tying the knot.
Well, there's nothing wrong with pursuing your own interest inside of the marriage. You should do that. You really should have your own thing that you're into. Matter of fact, you got to take a break from your partner. The great thing about dating is that you could send them home afterwards and be like, okay, y'all hang out. And then you hang out back at the place. And then it's like, all right, so you want me to get you an Uber? So are you about to go? Because I got to get up in the morning and, you know, it's time to check out. And, you know, you get to have that separation, though. The hardest part about being married is that there's not that natural separation. You have to create that, and you should create that, and give your wife her space, give your husband his space, and you all do your own thing and develop individually and separately, and then come together when it's time. You all could be individuals and still be together, man. Matter of fact, I don't think that you could really succeed without doing something like that. And so that is my advice with these two folks. I don't know if they could salvage whatever. It seems like they are in varying degrees of checking out. But if there's any hope, they need a full-on reset. They both need to get slapped around and have a reality check. And that, look, you have these expectations. That's not really how the world works. This is how it really works. And you're either willing to reset under this new reality or you're not. And if not, then great. Cut ties now. Anyway, we spent like 50 minutes on that one. We should move on to the next one. And that was after I vetoed the first one. I don't know what Dominic was thinking with that first one, but he did give us a new one.
There is an update at the top there. So
Do they need a life coach? Did they get a life coach? Omar, if I'm a life coach, how much should I charge? What do you think?
What would
life coach?
I would say that you should charge, I don't know, $500 an hour.
Wow.
Charge what you think you're worth. People
more than Woodnick. Holy hell.
What
No,
is
Woodnick was $650.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I was gonna say,
okay,
Woodnick
then I'm
is
fine with it then. I don't want to.
Yeah. I don't
What's
charge
the
as much as
update?
Woodnick. Did I click on the wrong thing? Is it the update on the screen or no? No. Let me get it on the screen.
It probably opens in a new window.
Yeah, sure did. All right, here's the update. So the update is, I hate how this lady writes. I know a lot of people commented indicating that they were hoping for an update. And since I hate when I get invested in posts and get all right already.
Enough of the preamble.
Jesus Christ. We had physical therapy today and needed to take my old phone to keep in contact as his had an issue. Well, that phone is connected to my iCloud and that has my Reddit. So I'll let you see in the screenshots what happened after he found my post.
Oh, boy.
So I want to be clear that these text messages changed absolutely nothing for me, as I had already lost trust. And although the majority of the comments stated that he is abusive and I should, is that what the comments were?
What?
That he was abusive and I should leave immediately. That's also not something to take lightly as we have a child together. And I did make sure to be clear in my original post that other than a phone and gaming addiction, which makes him emotionally immature, he is not abusive. Neglectful, yes. I was in mentally, emotionally, and very physical abusive relationship before. My husband is nothing like that, man.
I don't think people have addictions because they're immature, right? Like you wouldn't call an alcoholic just immature.
No. You're right.
I feel
They're
like
separate.
That's a little sketchy.
Well, it's conclusory language, right? For something she's not qualified to diagnose. I don't live in fear and anxiety. I just live in sadness and loneliness, which is definitely because my needs and emotions, me in general, are all being neglected. Anyway, I also mentioned in my original post in the comments that every time I have communicated, I was always told things would change, and by the next day, they were back to the same. So I did want to reiterate, but that these text messages don't change anything from me. But for the last year, the pattern has been that in under 24 hours, he reverted right back to what he said he was going to stop doing. If leaving becomes my legitimate only option, then I already accepted it and was more than prepared to follow through when making my OG post. But either way, with a small child, that wouldn't happen overnight. So here's the plan. If the text messages are just more empty promises, then per his pattern, this will reveal itself likely in the next 24 hours. Oh, young lady. But I also want be making any decisions based off the next 24 hours, even if the pattern breaks. Because who's to say that he can't hold out and stay off his phone for 72 hours this time, or a week even, and then revert back to neglecting us for his screen time.
What is it?
So-
Is he a contestant on Makeup Island?
Yeah.
A new reality TV show or something?
know,
What's
man.
happening here? What is going on?
Well, I think they've become hyper fixated on his phone usage. And therefore, the only possible way they're going to have a successful conclusion
Yeah.
is if he changes his behavior on his phone.
I mean, mentally, I've kind of compartmentalized this into like there's their relationship and how they treat each other. And then there's this potential idea that maybe he has some addictive tendencies. And these, to me, these are very two things that she's tied together.
Yeah, agreed. So she says, so I'm just going to do the responsible thing and take a little bit of time before giving you guys a real update. A few comments in the OG post did mention that maybe if he read some of the comments from other people, it would come from a different perspective than just me nagging. For the time being, I'll follow the advice. Okay. What are these? I'm nervous to click
Text
on these
messages
images.
from the iCloud.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
It just says, I read your Reddit post and I'm in tears at the office, truthfully. I guess. I'll
So he's
share.
working at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
has
he
a
does have
job.
a job, as
Here
I
we go.
suspected. Okay, so
Dang, Omar.
no. So which Reddit post did you go to? My Reddit says leaving me. Which one? My own phone.
Guys, should I
Oh,
trust
these
Omar
people.
more?
You know,
I don't know.
sometimes.
He does see a lot of these. I mean, we should probably give him a little bit of,
A little leeway.
yeah.
Nah, not all the leeway, just a little bit. A little bit will suffice. A little bit goes a long way. All right. I'll admit gaming is my really happy place. And I know that. It always helped at my dad's when things were hard. Helped always, just my escape. That makes a lot of sense to me.
So he
but-
probably had some past trauma with his dad or something.
100%. Well, you know, if you've grown up in an abusive home before, I grew up in a time where, you know, my mom was like 16, and I grew up when things were pretty chaotic. And the only respite that I had as a young boy was video games.
Mhm.
Back then, it was like Nintendo Entertainment System.
Right.
And it became a source of being able to zone out and immerse into something else that wasn't my reality. So it makes sense that it continues to be a place that he goes when he's faced with mental hardship. All right, she says, I know that. But then she goes on this whole diatribe. What is she saying? Okay, she says, fine, but in all honesty, you spend more time on your phone than gaming. And I don't think that gaming being a happy place for you is a problem at all. As a matter of fact, I'm the one that bought the PS5. And then I bought the cockpit with everything. The cockpit?
Because he does the
Racing
the car racing.
Oh,
Yeah.
the problem is that gaming is your
Thrustmaster.
only happy place. And me and baby are humans, her kid. And that's effing mean to treat humans like that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, guys, so this guy just lets out this emotionally traumatic hint into his psychology.
She's
Also,
beating him in the head with the hammer.
notice how he just read this big, long, angry thing that we all read, and he's
Yeah.
very, like, calm about it. Like, he's crying. Like,
He's contrite.
I was expecting to read really angry text from him, to be honest.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I mean, that we didn't have both sides. We got her characterization of him.
Mhm.
And, you know, her throwing out some hearsay statements that he may or may not have had.
This is weird because she starts out talking about how he has this big video game addiction and the Discord with the video games, and now she's like backpedaling really hard on that.
I bought all the equipment and
Well, she says that, but I want you to notice what happens here, because this happens with a lot of young men that are in these relationships. He talks about gaming as his happy place, and then he hints that it's always helped at my dad's when things were hard. It helped me just my escape, and which we all identified as, oh, he's got past trauma, and this helped him. And then, you know, I kind of related a similar story. Her response to that is like, yeah, but
It's tangential.
me, this, that, and, you know, invalidating all of that,
yeah.
and then bringing it right back to her and the bullshit and his inadequacies. How in the F is he ever supposed to open up to this lady?
Yeah.
How?
It's not going to happen.
Gaming
Yeah,
is the
it's not
only
gonna-
happy place.
Oh, I love to say to treat humans like that. It's so effing mean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
It's turned back into he's back on the defensive
Yeah.
when he's just tried. I don't know how hard it is for him to relate emotional information. It seems like it's pretty effing hard given the scarcity of information, but he tried it. He dipped his toes in, and this is what he gets.
Yeah, she's not trying to converse to get on the same level or to learn or to communicate about each other. She's
Yeah.
sort of sending these messages.
And
one
this is why men shut down. This is why
Yeah.
they don't open up to you as their partner, because they can't. Because it's perceived as you're being effing mean, and yeah, but me, this and that, and the family, and you need to, and blah blah blah.
Again,
And-
though, I do feel like he does have his moments where he was pretty disrespectful as well, and she
Sure.
might be harboring that resentment of like getting told,
Probably.
"Don't be
Yeah.
surprised if I F someone else." Like that would be pretty hurtful. And
That was
I don't even.
off
Okay,
the
but
rails. Yeah.
consider this. What if he didn't even say that? Well, I guess maybe he did because he didn't confront her about lies. So
Yeah.
he probably did. I'm not trying to say that he's a saint. I'm just saying,
yeah,
what hope does he have of having what hope does he have of having a real conversation about him and how to fix him and his ability to navigate with the family if when he tries to open up to her, he gets all of that?
Right.
Because then it ties right back into
Seems very
broken.
Why bother
And it's his
trying to
problem.
come back? Yeah.
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 His response is, I'll stay off the phone. You're right. I'm always in it. To devalue them like that. You're right. And then he just says, you know what? F it. You're right. Whatever you said, it's fine. That's not a response. Of course, he's going to get right back into the same behaviors. That's not fixing anything. He's
Was there another screenshot in the next or?
there's one more. Let's see what this one is.
I got to go because I got to go pick up the little one. So,
Oh, well,
Oh,
I can't keep you from picking up the little one.
yeah.
You got to keep him safe. He's
Right.
dependent on you, sir.
No.
Yeah.
But-
What, Brad? You're not video gaming instead? Come on.
I know.
Sorry.
bye, Brad.
All
See you
right,
guys.
Brad. Thanks for coming on, man. Love you, man.
Have a good weekend.
Okay. So this next one, am I sharing my screen or no? Do I have it on? Yeah. He says, I will not be on my phone or play while he's awake anymore. He says, I think that you should stop making promises. Jesus.
I mean, what
won't-
did she want? Did she want him to say, I will try not to be on my phone? Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, that would be the more sort of linguistically honest thing to say, I suppose. Like, I'm going to try, but like,
Yeah.
and he says, I will not, which is more definitive. But I mean, are you really going to split hairs on that? Like, we're not litigating.
There's just no winning with him. Like he's saying, you're right. And then this, I think you should stop making promises. So he's trying to acquiesce to her and she says, yeah, just stop saying that. Cause there's not a way for him to win. And he knows that. So he's not changing his behavior in this environment. So if that's how it's going to be, they're doomed. Really, if she has any hopes of salvaging something, she needs to stop putting him on the defensive. That's all going to be there. But at some point, he needs to be allowed room to say what he's got to say without being told what a piece of shit he is.
She needs personal therapy,
She
not
does.
just separate therapy. She needs to learn how to communicate because honestly, she still doesn't know how to communicate.
Yeah. And they need
Yeah.
some baby steps or some simpler
Right.
steps because it takes like 2+ weeks for the human brain to recognize something as like a habit.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to exercise, like with a New Year's resolution, it's like 4 weeks or something. So if you're just like, okay, I'm going to stop doing X all the time, like you're not going to win. You're not going to do it. You got to take really slow steps that you can, ensure you do for a month.
Yeah. Sarah
Yeah.
Dunn with the 5. Thank you, Sarah. She says, what are you at? BYS? What does that mean?
That's like some Newfoundland slang.
Oh, Newfoundland. Says, a happy Flat Friday. I'm on Hockey Mom duty tonight, but we'll catch you on replay. I appreciate all your faces. Sarah Dunn, I appreciate your face. How about that?
Indeed.
No, we love Sarah Dunn over here.
Mhm.
All right. Let me, you know what? I think I'm going to move on to another hypo. We spent a long time on that one. And the update. Jesus. Hey,
I'm not
Dominic, that was
disparaging anything.
yeah, that was kind of
What
a
am I
good one that you
disparaging?
picked.
I don't know.
Were we
Go
disparaging
Canada. What? I don't know.
I think Dominic was or not Dominic. Bruce was disparaging hockey players.
No.
I don't know. That seemed like a very defensive no.
Hockey's great. Go.
I don't know, man.
Ice.
I just all I know about
People.
hockey is that I suck at it. I can't
Yeah.
skate for shit.
You know, did you ever play floor hockey, like on the gym floor with the?
Yeah, I could
was
play
fun.
that.
I liked doing that back when I was a kid.
I had some white friends back in high school, and they were all into like rollerblades and playing hockey on the street. I just couldn't skate, and so I said,
rollerblade hockey.
fuck this. You know what? I'm just going to play in my shoes. And so I played in my shoes and I would get really pissed off. And I've learned that, you know what? I don't need to try to play. I don't need to be good at everything. Hockey's not my jam, man. I'll stick with baseball and wrestling. And that's what I did. All right.
Did you just say white friends?
You sure
I did
did.
have, well, my white friends were the hockey players. You know, I lived in a very diverse community. And so I had all my different friends. And my white friends, especially back in like the mid 90s, were really into roller hockey. And so my only introduction to hockey was through them. And they were really good at it, and I was really bad at it. And
Yeah.
this is what it was. But yeah,
Moore's
I did
got to
say
have
my
a
white
couple
friends.
token white friends like me and Brad.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm allowed to say I had white friends because Bruce gave me my white people card.
It's more of a guest pass, temporary. It can be
Oh.
revoked.
Oh, that's fucked up, Bruce.
Ooh.
Got to be on your best behavior.
I'll accept my guest pass, and I will use it to its full advantages.
Oh boy.
All right, so am I the asshole for expecting my boyfriend to make changes to benefit our relationship? All right, so this lady's closer to our age. She's like 46. Have been dating my boyfriend who's 44. Is it weird to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend in your 40s?
Not if
I
you're
mean,
divorced.
You got to start somewhere. What's
I feel
the
like-
problem?
I feel like if I was a single man in my 40s, I would feel like kind of childish to like have a girlfriend, you know?
Well, what would you call her?
What I mean, what do you want to do? How do you want to meet someone at the bar and go get married in 5
Partner?
minutes? Like, what are you doing?
Fuck no.
How are you
I
living
would-
your life?
I would not do that either. I'm just saying, like, girlfriend just seems like such a, I don't know, like
High school term. Like,
Yeah.
You could say special lady friend.
that just makes it
Or-
all creepy. I would not say my special lady
Shout
friend
out
with
Big
the
Lebowski.
benefits.
That's from Big Lebowski.
Oh, God. I got to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
Anyway, she says, so they're boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever. Never mind my own personal peccadillos. He says he loves me, spends most nights here. However, he works a very demanding job Monday to Saturday. That is a demanding job. So most nights he just showers, eats dinner, and goes to bed. I take care of all cooking and cleaning. Our school date night is Friday. However, since he has to work the next day, many weeks he is too tired to go out. Yeah, no shit. How about making like a date night on Saturday night? Why's it got to be on Friday night? Never mind.
Or Sunday.
However,
Well, Saturday.
yeah, since he has to work the next day, okay. Saturday nights and all day Sunday, that makes sense. He has his daughter and almost always manages to take her somewhere fun and comes home late. I
There
get
you
it
go.
now. All right, so the things came to a head this week when he canceled our New Year's Eve plans due to being sick. However, was able to run errands for hours for friends. Oh boy. He also still kept our plans to take my 3 kids and his daughter to indoor go-karts and laser tag. But then
4
again,
kids?
sick today.
I'm
He
tired
kept-
just reading about 4 kids.
I know. Gee, that is a lot.
Oh man.
dude. And it's not even his kids. It's her kids.
Yeah.
My 3 kids
Oh.
and his daughter. So he's doing like a stuff for the relationship, if you ask me. I mean, well, I don't know if it's for the relationship, but it's something. He's not just effing around, you know. This situation prompted me to ask if I can have one Saturday per month for date night, and his daughter still has the other 3. I asked this so we can actually go out on a date he enjoys and doesn't have to work the next day. He not only refused, but he called me selfish for asking to take time from his daughter and stormed out in a fit of rage.
Oh.
This is why dude is single. He refuses to make, I don't know why he's single. He refuses to make any compromise other than offering some vacation days to be spent with me. I don't think this is enough because he's not a consistent change. It's not a consistent change. I feel he is selfish for not caring about my feelings and ever feeling the need to have normal date nights. I also think his behavior showed a lack of maturity. I don't believe he loves me like he claims. If he can't compromise, he thinks I'm selfish to ask for time from his child even once a month, despite the fact that any time we do anything, it's time away from my girls. I have a theory about this. I got a lot to say. I'm going to let you all say it first, and then I'm going to say what I got to say. Because I don't want to color anybody else's opinion with my hot takes, like Bruce says. Sometimes I tend to do. I don't want to end a relationship, but I'm feeling undervalued. Please let me know what you think. All right.
I think it's a red flag to call something as a lack of maturity. I think that's just a cop-out.
She said that to him? I missed that part.
It's in the second to last paragraph.
Oh, she said lacks maturity. Control F, maturity. Oh, lack of maturity.
Like she said, he refuses to make any compromise, but he did talk about vacation days. So I don't know. But she did say he stormed out. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, why is this guy has to work a lot?
You guys watch that show?
I blame late stage capitalism, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, what's that new Billy Bob show, man? A Landman or something? Landman.
Yeah.
With Billy Bob Thornton. That's what it's called, Landman, a Taylor Sheridan production. You guys watch that show?
No.
So he's married to this lady, and like they're trying to start up their relationship again. And then, you know, he's like a hardworking guy. And he's like, whatever, man. It's like, oh, all right, you want to try to get back together? We'll try to get back together. And then she does want to get back together. And like she like puts on this huge production, this like big family dinner, and she has all these expectations. She spends the entire day cooking and cleaning and redecorating his place without getting any of his intake on it or permission about it. Spends all this money on her current husband's dime, by the way, to redecorate his house, and mandates that he's going to participate in this dinner. And he told, I'll go to the dinner if you want to, but God damn it, I'm going to be out I'm working like a 10-hour day today. And then he comes home and then it just goes all bad. And then she's all feelings and emotions and crying. And he didn't lie to her. Like, look, you know what the deal is. I came home from work I was working the entire day. This is your show. I didn't say we couldn't do it, but you kind of know the deal. Like we're married. Like she has these expectations based on what? On what reality? If it's truly just based on her feelings, then what man in their 40s is going to put up with that shit? For an extended period of time. They might be able to do it for small amounts of time, here and there, right? But why would a grown man in his 40s that's been around the block, probably been married once or twice, has kids of his own, has responsibilities, has a job, is not playing the whole Disneyland game anymore? Why would he
this dinner party, he had to pay for it?
Oh, I'm talking about the TV show. No. On the TV show, Allie Larder, I think is her name. She just cooked up like this huge, big family dinner style meal for the entire family. And, well, it just didn't go the way that she'd hoped. Nobody had done or said anything wrong. Just
was there an open bar?
Yeah.
No, but the alcohol was, she was having wine and serving wine, but he's not an alcoholic, or he is an alcoholic, and so he didn't want to drink the wine. He had like these non-alcoholic beers, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and she was chastising him. Anyway, it just was not the image of what she thought was going to happen. She was all in her emotions about it. The only point in bringing that up is because here,
life can't always be a Hallmark movie, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. Men don't think in Hallmark movies. We just don't. We're here. It's like, look, and when you're...
I do, but...
I know Bruce does, but I was just about to ask you, Bruce, you being a man in your 40s, I feel like this is now what I do. I'm no longer the guy that I thought I was going to be, like the Prince Charming, whatever, because I'm not that, man. I can never, ever be that because I work hard. I put in 8 to 10 to 12-hour days. Sometimes I have really shitty days. Sometimes I'm dealing with real life flat cases all day long. Sometimes I'm dealing with parents that are fighting to the death over the fates of their children. Sometimes I'm defending people in their freedoms. There's a lot of shit that goes into my day. And sometimes I'm not all jolly to sit home and talk.
I know how it is, man. My buddy and I, we fake retired, right, back in October. And a few weeks ago, we went to happy hour, and our ex-boss was like, wow, you two guys look really great. And it's like, well, no shit. We're under way less stress now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my point is, when I come home I'm going to be as present as I can. I'm not going to be always in a jovial mood, but at the very least, I'm going to be there, because what I've learned in my 44 years is that the most important thing it's like Pat Riley says, the most important thing is to make the most important thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. That's what he says. And what's the main thing? Being there and being available. You're not always going to be there at 100%, but you're there. And sometimes that means more than anything. And for men, that's sometimes all they can give is just to be there. And for a woman
hilarious.
or anybody to have this expectation that not only do I want you here, but you got to listen to my stories, and you got to laugh at my jokes, and you got to tell me that my food is the best, and you got to drink with me, and you got to make cards and do arts and crafts, and you do painting night with the girls, and watch this Blake Lively movie and do all and be happy about it and have a smile on your face. That's an unrealistic expectation.
Well, if somebody hasn't agreed to it,
And he hasn't agreed to it,
Yeah.
but he's trying to
Yeah.
find some middle ground. And she doesn't recognize that as a viable compromise is the problem.
that
I
was
feel
so
like
hilarious.
I'm,
'Cause there was this crazy guy on the Bachelorette, the last season of the Bachelorette, who was always saying, "Like, I'm keeping the main thing, or whatever." It was just
It's a Pat Riley trope.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find the quote. Ness, Pam, so that I don't get too male-centric on the show, what do you think of what I just said? How am I out of bounds?
I don't think you can come into someone's life who's already established and then expect them to make these entirely extravagant changes to their priorities and then be mad the second it doesn't happen. I'm sure priorities will shift as time goes on, the relationship gets more serious, but having your feelings hurt, if they're not going your way the second it starts, I think is not
Yeah. Well,
right.
It is, again, it's a little unrealistic, and I'm still stuck on he took her 3 children out for
Yeah.
go-karts, and I'm like, oh, I would date him because
Yeah.
that's sexy to me. Like,
yeah.
if he's willing to take your 3 children, he's got 1, and you're like bashing him about other stuff. Oh yeah, she's not the one for you, buddy.
Yeah.
He's doing foundational things that
Exactly.
sustain
Yeah.
a relationship, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
By
he's
the
got to
way-
get in that little golf cart, and his knees are probably sticking way up, and
Bro.
his ankles are exposed. I mean, that's sexy,
He's
right?
sacrificing
Yeah.
a lot.
I'll tell you a
I want
story.
to deal with New Year's Eve. I don't like to go out on New Year's Eve either. Like,
Nah, fuck that. That's like a young
Yeah.
person's thing to do. I don't do that shit anymore.
exactly.
Go out for what, man? So you could get yourself run over in the New Orleans and
Oh boy.
If she's
I
the
gotta
one
cover
who
that
wrote
case.
this post, yes, she is. That's what I'm saying.
by the way,
Yeah,
that Pat
I
Riley
think-
quote, this
Oh,
is the
boy.
Pat Riley quote. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
Jeez.
Which is a brilliant quote, man, because it's right. He's right.
What's
And what's the main
tautology? I
thing?
don't know.
It's the foundation. How tall is she? Well, I could tell you this, that men who are fathers and want to be fathers and want to be good fathers, they have a guilt that overcomes them when they see that their children are bored or if there's like anything they can do. I can tell you that when I was a single dad with my daughter, Raven, I can't tell you how much I hate going to Disneyland. I can't tell you how much I hate it. It's crowded. It sucks. There's kids all over the place, and like you're walking all over the place, and you're sitting there, you're standing in line, you're just trying to make sure you don't lose your kid. I would take my daughter there all the time because I just didn't want her to be bored, and it was the only way that I could think of to be proactive as a dad at the time. I don't do that nowadays with my 4 and my 5-year-old, but what I will do is, like, there are times where I find that it's necessary as a dad to take them out and go do things. Not all the time, but like sometimes, do you think I want to go to the trampoline place, man? Like, I totally want to go there. I don't. I really don't want to, but I'll do it because I want to see my kids have a good time and smile and laugh and sweat and get dirty and hurt themselves and, experience and live life. That's what it sounds like this guy is doing. He's taking these kids out that are not even his kids because it's important to him. He will sacrifice for that, and he'll do that, and he is drained. And there are some times when you have date night, and I've had date
Yeah.
nights with my wife. It's like, look, hey, You want to go out to like a restaurant and like do this and that, or do you want to stay home and Netflix and chill, bitch? I wouldn't call it like that, but you like stay home and like order in, like a bottle of wine that's not going to cost $80 when they got it for like 12, like an actual good bottle of wine with like I don't know, some creme brulee or desserts or whatever ice cream that you order. You sit there and you watch a stupid movie and you fall asleep, and yeah, is it an ideal date? No, man. But sometimes the main thing is to keep the main thing, and you try.
I don't really understand that quote, but there's only 24 hours in the day, and you have to prioritize accordingly. To me, that's the detail.
Yes.
And it sounds like the way he would like to prioritize his 24 hours is not the way she would like to prioritize the 24 hours. And at some point, she needs to decide if that means that their disagreement about the 24 hours is a deal breaker for having a relationship and being boyfriend and girlfriend.
What if I were to posit this idea that maybe perhaps she's being immature? What would you think about that, Pam?
I agree 100%.
I don't know.
Their relationship, I personally, I'm a Netflix and chill type of gal, and this one's putting so much more expectation on date nights that I'm sure the thought of it for him is exhausting. Like thought of going out with her is exhausting, and he'd rather spend the day with 4 kids than her. And what does that say? I mean, again, I think she's the a-hole.
She is the asshole. I'll say this, that as an older man, look, I used to do the club thing. It was in my 20s, my 30s or whatever. It was fun. It was a good time. But would you rather get drunk amongst a bunch of strangers in a public place where the music is so loud that, the last club I went to, I think was with my sister Ness.
She's not saying she wants to go to the club in here.
Oh, I know. But I was making a funny point, and Bruce has become a dishonest interlocutor.
Oh, boy. What am I doing?
That's where I saw your real dance moves.
I mean, the question is, am I the asshole? So I guess that is the final question.
Yeah. Well, I think the consensus is, yeah, kind of. Like you got a good one. You might want to give him a little bit of grace, and you might not miss out on a good man.
I wouldn't start calling people immature, because I feel like when you start labeling people like that, it's just going to put them on the defensive, and you're right. Get defocused from the actual issues.
To be fair, she's the one that used the term immature. And so my question is based on who's the real actual mature one if we're actually doing the independent analysis. And so I don't know, man. I think that guy deserves a little more grace than what he's getting. And I think that I'm going to say this. I don't think that guy has any qualms with moving on, because he's like 45 or 44. How did it say he was? 42? I forget.
43, I think.
He's 44. He's 44. Huh. Look, he's not like thinking that she's the one. If she's not the one, then fine.
I want to give him a Reddit award for taking 4 kids to the golf carts or whatever.
For go-karts? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of liability for that.
She should recognize, I don't know. Whatever.
What should she recognize, Ness?
I mean, I think he has his priorities straight. That's...
Yeah.
Exactly. And she's exhausting.
I will say this. What she's really saying is that she wants some independent time alone with him that is special to just him and her. There's nothing wrong with wanting that. That's not an immature request. But perhaps, there's a need for recognition on her part that the guy that she's involved with, there could be worse things to complain about.
Yeah, and like if he wasn't, doing things with her children, or he didn't like her children, or, wasn't putting any effort in with them, like that to me is more important than my needs, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is he's doing things to help his friends while he's sick. I wonder if he was sick and just stayed in bed all day, if she would be like, oh, he's got the man flu, or like, what can he do anything right? You know what I mean? Well,
that just tells me that's like a main thing quote. Like the main thing is to be there. To him, the main thing is to be there when you're in peril. And date night is not classified in his mind as being in peril, and so therefore, if there's no problem to solve, and look, maybe that's a deficiency on his part, like he's trying to solve everything. I don't know. Some people would say that.
I mean,
But-
who knows? Maybe he's the only guy with a pickup truck, and his friends
Exactly.
are in dire straits or something.
Friends need help
Yeah.
moving the fridge, so
And
he's
why-
there to help.
She then decide to go over there and maybe make him chicken soup or take care of
Yeah.
him. Maybe that would have
Ooh.
been a better option. Why would you?
Oh, see, if she did that, he would start looking at her. Oh, this is a keeper.
Right.
She making me my sandwich. She making me my soup with some crackers.
New Year's
She's
Eve.
like, you
Bring
know
him
what?
some fruitcake.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this lady to Italy for a couple of weeks as a reward.
Exactly. I mean,
Maybe that's
go
the thing
there
to do.
and take care of him, right?
You find us good guy, stop lumping them in with all these others. Recognize what they're
Exactly.
doing and why they're doing what they're doing. And if why they're doing what they're doing is the main thing or a worthy cause, then hey, give them a little bit of grace.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a little bit of room. You might be happy with what you find. To quote The Office. I don't know if that's an office quote or not. It sounds like one. I think you're going to be happy with the thing that you, I don't know. I feel like I've heard that on The Office before.
I feel like
Anyway,
she may not have enough experience with boyfriends to know when
she's
you
46.
should appreciate. I know, but I'm
It's
like,
kind of a red flag.
were you under a rock? Because you got to know when to hold them and know when to run. And
No one to hold him, no one to fold
this
him.
one is, I to me, I think he would be a keeper. But
I'd be like,
we
listen,
don't know.
lady, I've been working all day. I've been working 6 days a week. I took your kids out for your 3 kids out for go-karts. I helped my buddy move. I'm going to need you to take it down to level 2.
right.
And maybe we can relax a little bit and chill. And this time could be for you. I'm just going to need you to crawl out of my ass for like 30 seconds. Take a deep breath. I wouldn't talk to her like that. Maybe I would.
And make me a sandwich when
I'm going to need a hand sandwich. Hold the mayo. You know, put some jalapenos in that thing. Perhaps a creme brulee. I don't know.
I love creme brulee.
I'm supposed to make that for my wife. I've been telling her that. I gotta make her. I gotta make. It's like a 2-day thing, man. I'll get
That's
it.
why it
Better
takes
than
so,
eggnog.
Yeah.
so much love.
And then it's like gone in like 10 minutes. It's like,
Yeah,
what was the point of all of that?
Oh yeah.
Like I could have just bought some, and not had to dealt with all this stuff. Stephanie B says Sam M didn't explain what this meant as well as Omar.
Sam M was the guy from The Bachelorette.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck that is.
He was a little goofy.
All right, let us move on to a different one.
All right, I have to hop, unfortunately.
Oh, nuts. That's
Gotta get
cool.
back to work.
Well, I love you anyway.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
All right. So is that literally the only the second one that we've done?
Yes. Did we even finish it? Like, I don't know.
I thought
Yeah,
we did.
I think we
I-
did.
10 minutes ago, I was like, yep, she's.
I
the
think since we
asshole.
concluded she was the asshole, I was kind of wondering if the comments did too. I don't know. But
Yeah.
Oh, I never read these comments. Where do you even find
Yeah.
them? You
Comments
just
are
gotta
usually
scroll
not
down.
worth reading, but
That's why I don't read them.
usually we determine these people are not the asshole.
Right.
In this case,
Kind
we've
of
determined that
unusual.
they kind of are.
A little bit.
Yeah, but you
Based
gotta
on what we read.
based on what we read.
I mean, we
So-
can always learn more.
This other one, I hope I don't have to veto it. What do you think, Dom? I'm gonna have to veto this one.
Is it two Gilmore Girls for you, Omar?
I can't do the Gilmore Girls, man. I'm not doing the Blake Lively. I'm not doing the Taylor Swift, whatever
Oh,
hentai bullshit that Dominic is into. I can't,
Wait,
man.
what?
I'm not gonna counsel people on their AI girlfriends. You're gonna have to keep that to yourself.
AI girlfriends. Do
Dominic
we
has
have
a-
one of those? Let's do one of those.
Dominic has an AI girlfriend that makes him Shirley Temples.
Right now? Wait, what? Shirley
I don't know.
Temples.
You're gonna have to
What?
ask him.
Like a Star Trek replicator?
He's into it because it has 0 calories if you get it sugar free.
What? I'm very confused. It's like a Keurig for cocktails.
There's an idea.
I think those exist.
A Keurig for margarita. They got to exist, right?
Yeah,
a
There's
margarita
definitely
maker?
They
there's these
do-
gift boxes you can get, and they'll send you all the stuff for the cocktails.
All right. Well, let me get it. You know what? I'm gonna let Bruce, with his smooth ass voice, read this one. How about that?
What was that about the cocktail star?
They do have a machine. I just saw the commercial for it. Can you imagine? That's so great.
Oh,
See, the problem is that I
sounds
don't really-
dangerous.
I'd just rather pour the whiskey in a glass and drink it, man. Wouldn't need to make it all fancy for it.
Well, yeah, I
don't need a
mean, with
cocktail.
Scotch, you don't need to make a cocktail. But,
Yeah,
you know.
just pour it in my glass. I'll
What do we got?
Right. All right, you're gonna read this one, Bruce. If you
34 male
yeah,
and 37 female in a 4-year relationship with a 1-year-old son. Oh my. I can't move past her almost cheating on me. Need advice.
who cheated on who?
The lady almost cheated on this guy. He's 37, he's 34. They have a
I got a lot to
1-year-old
say to him.
son. I assume it's their son, but they're in a 4-year relationship. I'm 34. My girlfriend is 37. We've been together for 4 years. We have a 1-year-old son. Despite everything, I'm haunted by a past that makes our relationship difficult to navigate. Wow, it's really literary.
Yeah,
For
good on him.
context, when we met, she was still in contact with an old hookup who also happened to be her hairstylist. Wait, what?
So he was gay.
Jeez.
Is that a me being conclusive?
Maybe that's how he gets all the ladies. He just,
You
he's
never
almost
know.
gay. She reassured me that it was all in the past and she went to him purely out of convenience. So a little hair with benefits, if you will. At
Hair with
first, I
benefits?
accepted the situation, but over time, several things started bothering me. She liked some of his photos on Instagram. Oh, no.
She liked some of his.
Oh, he's on the Instagram.
Can
During
we
our
back up a
trips.
minute?
Yeah.
Can we pause? Can we pause?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to catch up. So she was still in contact. Oh, do we know anything about him other than he's a hairstylist? I'm assuming.
Also, are these like business photos on Instagram or are they personal photos on Instagram?
Are you hearing like ghost voices in the? What is that noise? Dominic, is that you?
I think it's
You know
Pam, is
what?
that?
That might be me. I
maybe
think
starts
someone-
typing.
I think
maybe typing.
someone may have just come over my house. I'm gonna step away for a second.
Oh,
you have
is
ghosts?
Pam's house cursed?
No, it's my dad's birthday, and so
Oh.
I think his son and daughter-in-law just stepped in. So I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
We
Well,
wanted ghosts.
We will hold the forts. I know you could have just said.
I lived in a house in my younger years that was haunted. Just so
Ooh,
you
The
know,
Amityville.
so I have stories.
the Amityville Star.
We need to do that
Crazy.
show.
I like it.
We need to
Yeah.
plan that one.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy.
Haunted
Bruce, every
flat.
time you do that, it sounds like you're having an orgasm. It creeps me out, man.
No, dude.
I think
These are the
thing-
smooth sounds of
I-
WOMR.
that-
Omar Radio.
Ooh, every time he does it, I think the same thing, Omar.
But, ooh, yeah. Ugh. Sorry, Bruce.
I'll be right back.
It's 2:30 in the
All
afternoon.
right, Pam, well, we
Got
will hold it
smooth
for it.
jazz on the. Anyway.
All right. Continue. Bruce.
Oh, did you say? Well, we just know this guy's a hairstylist and he's on Instagram. That's all we know.
All right.
All right. She liked some of his photos on Instagram during our trips. She suggested places he had previously recommended to her. Oh
Mhm.
boy. One time, a YouTuber used her image as a thumbnail in one of his videos without her consent. Oh no, this sounds
fuck is-
familiar.
Oh, shit.
Is her name Lynette? Oh no. While I did everything I could to address the issue, she still sought help from this man, which hurt me.
Hmm.
What? The hairstylist?
I'm assuming we went from YouTube thumbnails to
Like, does
trip
the
suggestion and-
hairstylist know the YouTuber? Like, what is happening here? This is
I don't
weird.
know. I'm confused. I'm trying to make sense of it all.
Oh boy. Are the turtles safe? Okay. The worst moment was during a trip when she wanted to show me a nude of myself on her phone. Of
A nude of
what?
myself. A nude of him? She wanted to show him a
that's-
nude of himself?
That's when I saw other explicit photos, including nudes of this man and a
Mm.
video of her with another ex. So
Damn.
she has a whole like nudes folder of nude dudes. She has a
Oh.
nude dudes folder. Is that good practice? Like to bundle all your ex's nudes in one folder? I don't know,
No,
guys.
I don't think that's. I
Doesn't
don't think
sound-
you should. Well, personally speaking, it's cool if you want to keep all that stuff, but it's bad practice. I think.
Oh, this
I'm
is
not going to
trouble.
judge anyone that does. I'm just saying it's bad practice to. It's not a good
Why-
idea. So
Why is she showing him this nude? Like, you used
That's
to be
what- yeah.
bigger. Like,
She
what?
clearly she clearly has no qualms about it. I don't think she's trying to hide it at this
This is
point.
very
I think she's
strange.
very sexually liberated and he's a little intimidated by it. Is the impression that I
Oh,
get.
maybe. This discovery pushed me to go through her phone. Oh no! Oh, that's always a bad idea. Hey, what happened?
Oh shit, did I do something?
We went to a different tab.
Oh shit. I think I pressed the wrong button. God
Yeah.
damn it. All right.
Think of the comments as inverted Uber ratings.
What?
Oh,
I hope I didn't like click out of it, did I? Relationship
so.
advice. God damn it. Hey Dominic, what was the thing that I had? What link was that? I think I accidentally clicked
It
out
was
of it.
the almost
Hairstylist,
cheating one.
yeah. Also, can I
37.
connect the AI lady to the cocktail machine? Like,
Who's the
that
AI
thing?
lady?
yeah.
Oh, I think I got it. Presents.
It wasn't me. There are no people in my house.
Oh.
Oh, that's what that one artist said. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So we left off with
Mhm.
this lady had a folder full of nudes from her exes, and she was
Yeah.
using them to compare and contrast.
And a video.
Oh.
And a video.
Salacious.
And she has no qualms about it because there's no way that she didn't know that was there when she was showing him images of himself.
Yeah.
OMG.
Yeah. She's got nudedudes.com folder in her phone
I
there.
don't know if it's new. What the fuck is that?
This discovery pushed me to go through her phone, where I found messages showing she had nearly hooked up with this man a few months before. Nearly. How does he know it's only nearly? When I confronted her, she didn't react much at first. After a big argument, she eventually apologized and promised to change. Over the past 2 years, we stayed together and had a child. Well, that's
Wow.
like
Oh,
that's a big montage right there we just did.
She's kind of stuck in it now, isn't it?
Yeah,
All right.
she's made an effort to rebuild trust, but I still can't seem to move on.
Hmm.
Oh dear.
I got some opinions, man, and y'all might not like them, but I have them. But let's continue.
I feel like this is going to get worse. What complicates things even more is her personality. Oh no.
oh Lord.
It's complicated. She's very reserved, introverted, and can come across as distant.
It's
Before
always
meeting
the quiet
me,
ones.
What's that?
It's always
Even-
the quiet ones.
Always.
Even though she's got all the nudes on her phone. Before meeting me, she had been single for 10 years, searching for love on dating apps.
Well, that'll do it.
Oh.
That's why she's got a folder full of nudes.
Oh boy. I feel like
Hey,
I'm
Pam?
the one. Yeah.
How many? Well, I'm not going to ask Pam this question.
You can ask me.
I know exactly where you're going.
Never
How many
include
dick
your
pics do you
face.
get on a weekly basis on these dating apps?
That was
I don't
not
know
where
if
I
you're
thought
on
you were
dating apps or
going.
not. Oh, I don't know where you go.
I had way too many dating app catastrophes to be even considering it in my 40s.
I'm just saying, man,
My
that
30s was enough.
the stories that I've heard about these dating apps is that if you're a woman on a dating app, then you have like hundreds of dick pics that are getting sent to you on a daily basis, uninvited,
Really?
all of them. Yeah. And so
Yes.
it's like I don't know, man.
It's probably worse now than it was when I was in my 30s. But yeah, I mean, people were not shy about, and then it made you wonder, like, is that really yours? Because there were so many of them going around. It was like,
Whoa.
yeah.
Hey,
I feel like I'm missing out.
you-
MG Law says I have a whole folder of dick pics, but I don't. Oh man.
You
I'm
do,
missing- I'm
Bruce?
doing something wrong. Like I'm not getting any dick pics in my DMs.
Who has dick pics, Bruce or MG Law?
MG Law says I have a whole folder, apparently. I don't.
Bruce has a whole folder of.
That's
Oh my
right.
God.
Yeah.
But I agree with MG Law that they may need a paternity test.
Oh, let's go. Oh, let's get Ravgen on the line. Oh boy.
Oh shit! Right. All right. So she's very reserved. I feel like I'm the one putting in a lot of effort to create intimacy between us. I'm more spontaneous and enjoy spending quality time together without having to plan everything. However, she spends a lot of time on her phone, which makes me feel like I'm not a priority in the relationship.
Uh-oh.
Recently, I lost my father and an aunt, which required me to travel. Those losses made me reflect on my life and what I truly want. Here we go. I'm wondering if I'm fighting to save a relationship that might slowly destroy me. Yet I recognize her good side. She's family-oriented, excellent mother. She has made efforts to integrate despite our cultural differences. I'm stuck between the pain of the past and my desire to move forward. What do you think about my situation? Have you ever been through something similar? How did you handle it? Oh, I have the answer. He gives it too long, didn't read. I think the title is misleading. I had a conversation with a member. Indeed, it's my interpretation of the situation that led me to say she almost deceived me. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really see much deceit in there. She wasn't hiding anything. I don't get the deceit part of it. The title should be, she admitted to being tempted, which is not the same thing. Oh, I got news for you, buddy.
Well, I mean, look,
Hey, Pam, are you sure about the ghost thing, man? I swear to God, I'm hearing like The Exorcist in the background.
And
like a TV or something, or
I keep putting myself
typing.
on mute in case it was, but there's nothing even going on behind me. So
I don't hear anything at all.
I
Is
don't
it just
either.
me? Is my office?
Yeah,
I thought I could hear it there for a sec.
Yeah.
There's a ghost.
It's definitely a ghost. All right. All right. So he's giving more explanation. They aren't friends. And so my issue is that we discussed the situation several times. I explained to her that it wasn't ideal for me. I explained that their relationship was ambiguous. She told me that for her, it wasn't ambiguous. They aren't friends. And in fact, she doesn't have any male friends apart from him. She never mentioned other men or any conversations she had with other men. What became problematic is discovering that what didn't seem ambiguous to her now appeared very ambiguous to me, as I found a message from her to her cousin saying she almost gave in to temptation.
Okay.
I didn't find any sexual photos or love messages. Even after writing that message to her cousin around May of 22, she continued going to the hair salon for several months and kept in touch with him until I asked her to stop contacting him. So that part of it is pretty simple. Hey, Bruce, has there ever been a lady that you contemplated banging or almost banged in the past, where you were in like a committed relationship with somebody that you just made it a point to continue to go visit that person on a regular basis?
What? Wait, so I'm in a relationship.
You're in a relationship. Let's just pretend.
What?
You're in a committed relationship and you have this ex that, like, when you were in your 30s, you guys used to bang.
Okay.
And she still sends you on, you still have nudes of her in your phone.
Oh my.
And she still sends you the occasional nude.
What?
And she still does you hair. She still does your hair. Let's just
Ugh.
say. And your current partner doesn't like it that you still go visit them personally.
I would not be in this situation to begin with.
I feel like
Like I would
exes-
have moved on from the ex when I was in the new relationship. Like I have no interest in, like, if I'm seeing someone, I have no interest in trying to see someone else. Do you know what I mean? And if
Agreed.
I do have an interest in trying to see someone else, then it's time to end the relationship.
100%. But you are a mature man in his 40s.
Well,
And so,
Yeah.
what did you have
I
to
don't
say
know.
about that, Pam? You're about to say something.
No, I totally agree. I would never be in that situation at all. You cut off for a reason. Let's keep it that way.
Here is my hypothesis. I think that the hairdresser is bi. And I think that the fact that he is bi gives her a false sense of, I know I'm generalizing. I know.
well,
I'm
it's just
hear my
speculation.
hear my hypothesis. It is a hypothesis.
Yeah.
Here's what I think is what's happening. I don't think that this woman has any malintent, but I think that she has a false sense of confidence insofar as the guy that she hooked up with that used to be her ex is bi. And not only is he bi, but he's decided he's more gay than bi, if that makes sense. And so she views the relationship completely differently than you or I would view it. And so she doesn't look at him as a sexual threat. And I know that we also read about oh, I almost gave in to temptation once, yeah, and that's the problem. That's because she has an overinflated sense of confidence or security in the fact that she continues to see this guy because she's justifying it. Possibly because of sexual orientation. I'm not trying to say that all male hairdressers are gay. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all because I'm just not. But I feel like if she seems overly confident that it shouldn't be a big deal. And why would she seem overly confident? Because perhaps sexuality is allowing her to look at it that way, in a way that she wouldn't normally if it was a straight man that was trying to bang her every chance he got. What do you think about that, Pam? Am I off base?
I think, honestly, if she's still hanging on, then I think her ex broke up with her and she's not over it.
Oh, there's that too.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, you're right.
I think it's
You're right.
irrelevant because he's talking about stuff that happened a long time ago. And she's not doing anything now that causes me concern. So I'm wondering what this guy's really hung up on. I feel like maybe he's hung up on something we don't even understand yet.
Yeah, I mean, well, he did see a folder of like dick pics and sex pics from her and other exes.
But that was long ago, right?
But she still has them.
Yeah, I don't know why she's still
Today?
That's what he said.
Where does he say that?
Well, I didn't see where she deleted them. She was showing him pictures of himself nude that happened to be coupled with all of these others. So I'm presuming, I guess.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to the hotdudes.com folder, but I mean.
But here's my other hypothesis. If you take away the gender thing, I have no idea if the guy. Let's just assume he's straight. My other hypothesis is that she's really sexually comfortable with herself. And for some men that can't match that energy, it becomes a source of insecurity. I swear to God, I'm hearing like my voice in the background. Like, is there a weird echo?
Doing a feedback echo? Something is doing it. Yeah. Is it me?
I don't know.
Bacon.
I'm gonna mute Pam. No, Pam is muted. I don't hear it now.
Yeah, it's one of you two because Pam is muted and I'm not in. So
yeah,
I wonder if it's me.
It
Bacon.
must be bacon. Damn it. Yeah. So my other hypothesis is if she's that sexually liberated in a way that is, might have been a really like a lot of fun at first, but she's continued with that energy, and maybe she is shy and introverted, but she's got that sexual energy, right? And she's not shy about her sexual temptations. Some women voice those openly, and others don't. But all of them have them. If you think that women don't have sexual temptations outside of you, then you were foolish for having that thought. It is reality, and you have to deal with it as a man. And if you're not comfortable with it as a man, and granted for this guy, like it's all kind of out on display for him, and she's been like very out in front and open about her temptations, and that could be an intimidating thing for a guy. I think that what he's feeling is insecurity and intimidation based on her sexual openness and her failure to recognize how that might be off-putting to somebody that she wants to have a future with. What do you think about that?
I mean, these are reasonable ideas.
I mean, I could only speculate. I don't know this lady. What do you think? What do you think, Pam? Am I off base?
I would not, let me tell you, I would not have any of this.
I know that you wouldn't.
Still on my phone. Like, it's just,
yeah.
So what you're saying is reasonable. Like I said, it sounds like he literally, her exes maybe broke up with her. Maybe she's holding on for something. I don't know. But, the fact that you're in a committed relationship, you have a child, like, why are you still hanging on to all of this?
He's not giving us any problems or any deal breakers for their relationships that are happening right now. The main thing, right before the end of this, he talks about, what is this? He went on a trip to Europe or something at the end?
I'll tell you what. Let me just go
Like,
tell
what
my
is
wife that
happening?
I'm.
Is he just having like an existential crisis or something? Like, what's the real problem here?
I think that he has a lot of anxiety in this relationship, and it's all manifesting in this post. And just as an example, let me just go tell my wife that I'm going to go visit my hairdresser that I used to bang 10 years ago. Oh, it'll be fine. She does my hair the best. Her hands are so soft, you know, and
Ooh.
put that in a woman's mind and watch how insecure she becomes. Put that in a man's mind and watch how insecure he becomes. And in this situation, it's out there front and center for him to see. So I could understand his level of anxiety. And I think what we're looking at here is anxiety that has not been dealt with because he hasn't had an honest conversation and put his foot down. It's like, look, you go back and see your ex again, then that's a deal breaker, man. Sorry. You can't just be having continued physical contact with exes that you want to bang, that you were tempted by, that you have nudes of in your phone to compare and contrast. What is that shit?
Agreed.
If he don't like it, then he needs to tell her that. And if she values keeping that relationship over his wishes, then he should just know where he stands and proceed accordingly. Because if she's willing to tell you that, you know what, I'm not going to stop seeing my ex, and I'm going to keep these pictures that I have in my phone, and she doesn't take into consideration your thoughts and feelings, then she doesn't value you, and everything that Pam was saying is correct. But if he never has a conversation with her, he's never going to get to the bottom of it, and he's going to continue to be riddled with this anxiety. So
He
he's
needs
going to
to
have to
set
deal
boundaries he's comfortable with.
with it. 100%.
100%.
And that's all I got to say to that guy. Did we have one more, or was that it?
I'm muted, so the echo's you, Omar.
The echo was me. All right, I'm going to mute myself.
Well,
I don't
we
know.
found the culprit.
There's something going on.
It was
there.
me.
I thought
Oh,
it
was Pam
but it
muted?
wasn't.
No.
We were both muted and you weren't, and there was echo. I could hear
How
it.
weird. You know what, man?
I think it's been echoing me and her through your system or something. And
I don't
that's why
know.
there's the ghosts of all of us.
I'm the ghost of I am the ghost of Christmas past.
There we go.
Okay. I think we have one more, and I'm gonna get to that one. Did you send that one to me in the private chat, Dominic?
Yeah, it's in the private chat. It's the last link, I believe.
I'll be right back.
Oh, go for it, Pam. Let's see. Oh, here it is. The last link. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, the 27 and the 30-year-old. Is that who we're talking about? Oh, this will be a fun one. All right, we're going to end with this one. We'll end with this one. And then, let's see. All right. So this lady is 27. Oh, I had a real echo right there. Was it these mics? Is it because they're on? All right. All right. She says, I feel as if my 27-year-old female husband, I read that wrong. She's 27, he's 30, is a bit too friendly with my best friend. Oh, it's the best friend thing. I'm not sure if this is my own jealousy that I need to work on. How do I approach this situation? Well, I got the answer for you, young lady. Let's see what we got here. So, I need some advice. I'm not sure if this is my own issues I need to work through or whether this is a genuine problem that needs to be addressed. I've got a friend. I'll call her Haley. I've known Haley for nearly 10 years. She was my maid of honor at my wedding. Her and her husband are in an open marriage. Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
Bruce, have you ever been in an open relationship?
No.
No. What'd you say it like that for? Like,
I don't know. No.
all right.
No. Motion denied.
Motion denied.
Uh-oh.
Motion to no. The echo is totally Pam. It was not me. It was Pam.
No.
She just unmuted herself and the echo came back. I heard the ghost voice.
That's because it's going through your system.
God damn it. All right. Well, I can't just mute everybody. All right. You know what? We're just going to deal with it for the last 10 minutes of the show and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll let Dominic try to fix it in post-production.
I don't even hear it.
That's because it's your ghost, Pam. Of course you're not going to hear it.
Listen,
Everybody knows.
if anybody was going to be haunted, it's definitely me. So I would
I
believe.
don't know why I would agree with that, but I would agree with that.
Yep, it's me.
Okay, so this lady has a friend who's in an open relationship with her husband, and her boyfriend is flirtatious with her. That's the gist. So her and her husband, okay, so though they're not poly per se, they do have relations with approved people in their. What is the difference between being polyamorous and an open relationship? Is it just that in an open relationship you only bang other people, and in polyamory, like, you fall in love with other people? Is that the distinction? You guys are very insightful. I feel like that's the distinction. I don't want to Google it because I just don't want to. I'm just going to roll with that. All right, so it's not really for me, but if it works for them, then that's their business. I feel as if over the last few months, my husband and Haley have become overly friendly. My husband was generally indifferent to her up until he realized himself and Haley play the same games and watch the same TV shows. Suddenly, she's all he talks about and who he wants to hang out with. I wouldn't have an issue with this, but the other night she Snapchatted him, personally inviting him out for drinks, which I was a little upset about not getting an invite, as I've recently discussed how I'm feeling a little depressed as I struggle still with PND. What is PND? For 2 years on, what is PND? PND. And because we've got a toddler,
Chat will tell us.
postpartum. What does the chat say? Does the chat answer?
PND.
PND. PND.
Or you can
You know
Google
what?
it.
It doesn't matter. She's got PND, whatever that is. We went out drinking with her and her husband on Christmas Eve. By the way, is it weird? Pam, let me ask you. So let's just say that you and your husband, let's just say you have a husband. He gets invited via Snapchat, no less, by your best friend for drinks. And you're not invited. What is your ultimate conclusion from that?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
It's like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, who
not gonna
are
happen.
you swinging on first? Your best friend or your husband for agreeing to it? Not that you would swing on anybody. I'm just.
I mean, if it's
Metaphorically
not to
speaking.
plan like some gallant celebration for me or of me, yeah,
They're celebrating you. Just the two of them celebrating how awesome you are. That's totally what happened.
planning my birthday, or but they shouldn't really be having alcohol.
Sure. Let me just tell my wife, hey, I just went out with your best friend that's in an open polyamorous relationship. But we did it to celebrate you. You weren't invited, but we just wanted to have drinks and talk about how awesome you were.
Well, they said open, but not poly.
Right. It's not, so they're just banging other people. So
it's like trying to get into Canada. You have to be on the right list.
Do you got to be on a list to get into Canada?
Well, if you want to move there.
Oh, well, why would I want to move there?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of
Other
a
than
good
the healthcare,
analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim A said PND.
Postnatal depression.
I don't know what she said there.
Postnatal. So is that the same as postpartum? It doesn't matter. She was suffering from a malady.
Can't even
All
get up.
Breathing, lying down. Oh man.
Yeah. So he goes out drinking with her on Christmas Eve. I stayed home sorting out the Christmas dinner for the next day and tending to our toddler. I didn't mind so much as he said he'd only be an hour or 2 hours max. The fact that she agreed to let him go out with her best friend who bangs other dudes is, should I call that admirable?
That's a big red flag.
On whose part?
His part.
Yes, I agree on his part. But the fact that she was secure enough to allow that to happen.
Well,
is that bordering on naive?
It could be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, all right, so she allows this to happen. He says he's going to be gone 2 hour max. That's a reasonable time frame, I guess. But it got to nearly midnight. I haven't heard anything from him. I rang him to find out if he'd be coming home, but didn't get an answer. Our toddler was getting fussy. Oh, shit. Oh man. And I still had the slow cooker to sort out. So needless to say, I was annoyed. He got home nearly 1 a.m.
What are they doing with a slow cooker at midnight?
Roast beef, I guess.
Like they
What do-
started at midnight and go to sleep
Pam,
or
do
something?
you
Is
use a
that-
slow
do people
cooker?
do that?
Basically for chili and corned beef on
Oh.
St. Patrick's Day, but
I like to
otherwise,
start it in the morning and then it's done for dinner or whatever.
You know what we need to bring back? We need to bring back Brad's cooking show.
Yeah.
yes.
When's the last
Yeah,
time
we need
did-
bread. Who starts the slow cooker at midnight? Guys, is that a thing?
If
No,
you're I can't see why it wouldn't be a thing. Why not? If you're gonna just put it overnight.
well, I have OCD, so I don't really like any electronic things like on all night long.
Yeah,
Mhm.
me neither.
So I probably
swear to
wouldn't
God.
do any cooking at that hour, but
Oh wait, this was Christmas Eve. Maybe you would have the slow cooker doing things.
Because you're gonna have company over, right?
Oh,
And so
this could
you're
be a
you're making
thing. Yeah,
efficient use of
okay.
time. Every time I speak, I feel
I'm
like
gonna give him a hall pass for the slow cooker.
yeah, because of the holiday.
him or her. He has a whole
Her.
pass to bang
Them. I don't know.
wife's-
The whole situation.
his right.
Jules says you can start food overnight, depending
Yeah.
on who needs to cook. So,
Well, there's some things that you cook overnight. You either leave it in the fridge or there's a slow cooker involved. But there's certain things that take
Yeah,
more than 24
fine.
hours to
I
cook.
think it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, all the people who actually cook are saying yes, it's normal.
Yeah.
Me, who, you know,
Well, your OCD won't allow
Got
for it.
burned on that.
especially at midnight.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of patience, Pam.
No.
Every time I speak, I swear it sounds like a ghost is orgasming, and it's thrown me off a little bit.
That's
And I
probably
feel
legal
like I'm the-
vices.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is he haunting me with
He's haunting
ghost
us.
orgasms?
Yeah. He would love to do that.
Oh,
I'm
he
sure.
would do something like that, man. All right, so brings us to a couple of days ago. He invited Haley and her husband to play some games on Boxing Day. Oh, this is Canada, isn't it? She's asthmatic and says that she's ran out of her inhaler. And without a second thought, my husband offers our son's inhaler. How is that a foul, though? Like she can't breathe. Wouldn't that be like, I got an inhaler right here. You just use this one. Is that out of bounds? Should that be out of, I don't know, Pam, what do you think? How is that a bad thing?
Well, did they have another one?
I got to assume they had multiple. I don't think he's like imperiling his son's life for the sake of her.
Yeah. Like,
It just doesn't seem like a big deal. I got an extra inhaler. Here, just use this one. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a foul, is all.
also,
He-
well, if you have multiples, why not give her a new one, not a used one? What's going on here with this? This is weird.
Because she wants to breathe. Look, it's used, just use it. Right?
But if they have
or-
a new one, go get the new one.
Maybe. Newer used.
The whole story sounds a little weird.
Yeah. You know what? Let us finish the story. He says he didn't mean to let her take it home, but didn't stop her from putting it in her bag.
You know what? Is that the only thing she put in her mouth?
God damn it, Pam.
The inhaler?
I would have never thought that you would be the one to go north
Damn.
of.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No, I think that they've been banging for a long time, if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, he went out with drinks with her like it was nothing. That was that. Even if I had a hall pass, that's nothing I would consider doing. I just
It
wouldn't.
sounds like they didn't have a backup.
Are you still on the inhaler thing?
Yeah, if you read the end of the paragraph.
Because Pam is on to other things.
Oh boy.
I was upstairs tending to our son once again and didn't get to join the games. So I didn't know about the inhaler until yesterday. So our son is asthmatic, though. Normally, he doesn't need his inhaler, but when he has a cold, he really struggles without one. Currently, he has no cold, but he is due back at nursery next week. So now I need another prescription. Okay, enough about the inhalers. Talking about films coming up in 2025, and the first thing my husband says is Chainsaw Man is coming out. I can go with Haley. When I asked why not me, he says I've never watched Chainsaw Man, which is true, and I did initially think he was talking about another movie, but it was a blow a little that he didn't think about anything we could have gone to see together. This is weird, man. I don't know what we're reading right now. This is like bordering on stupidity at this point. I don't know of anybody in a relationship that would just openly go on dates with their wife's best friend. Maybe you all have examples that I don't have. I just don't have a point of reference for this level of behavior. And so I can't even really go so far as to say that he's definitely sleeping with this lady. I don't know. This whole group of friends just seems weird to me. This entire group of people is out of bounds.
People are weird, Omar. I mean, have you met them? The humans. They're strange.
I'm not to begin with, I'm not a fan of people. I tend to be by myself, you know, specifically for that reason. I'm just saying, I'm trying to make sense of this behavior. Yeah, like she is saying things that would be so far out of bounds for like a normal couple. And they're just like, it's like next Tuesday for them. I don't get it. So when I asked if there's, okay, I know I'm letting my feelings get in the way.
Was that a movie?
I have no idea what that is. The Chainsaw Massacre? What are you talking about?
Chainsaw Man.
Is that an actual movie?
Have you ever heard of Chainsaw Man? Chat, do my bidding. Find out if Chainsaw Man's a real movie.
I don't want to come across as controlling. I'm not sure if these things. Okay. Any advice? Oh, that was it. So I guess, what is the question then? What is she asking me? What is she asking? Oh, should she be concerned that her husband is being too flirty with her? Yeah, I think that would be concerning for anybody. Hey, Bruce.
Yeah, this is all very red flag. Like, I need to get some so I can wave them around.
Let me just give you the hypothetical. All right, so you're married, and you have a best friend who is a guy who openly bangs other women.
My best man.
I know, your best man. And then your
Dave.
wife tells you that, hey, I went out with fucking Dave. and we're just gonna go out and we're gonna watch a movie. Oh, well, what are y'all gonna see? Could I come along? No. It's just gonna be me and him. We're gonna drink in your honor. How would you feel about that? And would you allow it to happen? And would you be nearly?
I trust Dave.
Okay, well, not Dave. Like some other guy that you would not trust.
Yeah, Brock Chaddington.
Yeah,
Brock Chaddington. That guy. I don't trust her with Brock Chaddington at all.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just I can't think of any scenario for either side where it would be acceptable or normal to just go on a date with your partner's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that she's even asking me this, it's giving me pause because it's so far out of bounds as to I don't have a frame of reference for what they're even on about. That I don't want to say it's not a real post. They just have they have a strange friend culture, is what I would say. How do I approach this situation?
Just Jules says that movie is Japanese manga.
The fuck is that?
Now, does that have the tentacles in it or no? We need Dominic.
What kind of time? Dominic? Hey, Dominic, you've been summoned.
What's up?
Hey, so
there's this movie, right? What was it called?
Oh, it's an anime.
Sam the Chainsaw or something? Chainsaw Man. Yeah. Is that,
it is an
have
anime.
The tentacle porn or what's going on in that movie?
No, it's just pretty much about a dude that has like a chainsaw as an arm. So
like Evil Dead.
I'm so happy that Dominic knows all about this. I was gonna ask Dominic, like, what's the last 10 searches in his anime porn history? I wanted him to read them off for our entertainment. I just wanted to get to the bottom of whether or not he's actually engaging in tentacle porn.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it would be anime, man. I'm so happy that this has happened because it's authenticated Dom's hentai obsession.
If this man is wiggling, don't come squiggling.
Yeah, I swear, I try to tell Gen Xers that anime is a thing. Like, grown men, they really watch cartoons. Like, get the fuck out of here. Bullshit. No, son of a bitch, man. It's like a whole culture. It's a whole thing. I don't get it, but it's a thing. Anyway, to this lady, look. Listen, lady. What is the over-under on this guy is banging her best friend? Is it like an 80% chance? Is it a 75% chance? What do you think, Bruce?
I don't think we need a number. All we need to know is that this woman is uncomfortable, and that's all that matters.
See, that's something
So
that a good
let's
guy
go to
would
the
say,
end.
but
Can I read the end? Because I don't feel like I read all the end.
yeah. I thought we did, but if we
I don't
didn't,
know.
by all means,
I
read
think
it.
I missed some of it. So we got the Chainsaw Man. So what happened with Chainsaw Man? Did they go?
I guess.
What does this mean? It was a blow a little? What does that even mean? Oh,
Like a blow to
personal
her
blow.
heart, like he
Okay,
pinched her heart a
yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
Oh.
And
One
then-
of us will have to
Not the
watch our
blowy.
son.
Yeah, not that kind of blow,
Oh.
Pam.
Can't they
Let
get
me
a
get your-
babysitter sometime?
I think Pam might be a little bit lubricated right now. She got her mind in the gutter.
I mean,
Um,
we do have, tentacles. Okay.
Oh, life water. Oh, I'm drinking my. What am I drinking right now? Oh, Jameson Stouts, which is excellent. Excellent. It's better than you think it would be. I'll tell you what. As far as whiskeys go, if you're looking like in the $30 to $40 range, Jameson Stout is an excellent option. You could have this with like a good Maduro style peppery Camacho cigar. And I know that you're a cigar man, aren't you, Bruce?
I've never seen cigar bid, but
You've never seen Camachos on Cigar Bid?
I don't think so. I'll have to check.
I haven't been on Cigar Bid in years.
Where do you get them?
Usually Cigar Bid, I try to stay off of Cigar Bid because you know what happens? I end up bidding on stupid cigars because they're cheap. It's like, oh, I just got like 40 of these bullshit cigars that I'm never going to smoke.
You look at the free fall and you just wait till it's low.
Yeah. So I've stopped doing that.
No.
I'll go to Cigars International, just buy what I want. Like, I don't need a deal, man. Just someone buy the good. It is, but
Don't do that.
dude, I got a collection of over 1,000 cigars. I don't need more. So
What?
just buy what I want when I want. Yeah, I got a big ass humidor at
Okay,
my
road
house.
trip to Omar's. Let's go.
Hell yeah, dude, let's do it. I'll never be able
Damn.
to smoke all these in my lifetime,
What
man.
the
I need to have a smoking buddy.
I am stalking two little dogs from a shelter in California. So don't be surprised if I show up in California.
Well, Pam, you're invited. Pam, Bruce, you guys are all. If you've ever been on my flat, you're invited to my house for cigars and whiskey.
There we go. Or picking up pets.
Yeah, Stephanie B too. If you were on my Christmas live stream, you're also invited. Possibly over my wife's objection because she got mad at me when I did that last time. I invited people unannounced my house. Anyway, to this young lady, I don't even know if she's asking. Is she asking like, is it?
I think she says, how do I approach this situation? She has to be very clear with her husband how these things have made her feel. Okay. And then communicate some boundaries because they have some friends who are in this open marriage.
She needs to grow a pair.
This is
Put
going
her
to
foot down.
create a situation where there's risk involved, and they
She
need
needs
to
to
set
say-
some boundaries.
Exactly like this. I guarantee you, she says it like this, he's going to get aroused. And he's going to think nothing more of her best friend. It's like, listen,
boy.
I'm your wife. You're not going anywhere with my best friend without me. And if you ever say that again, there's going to be consequences and repercussions. I mean it. And so she needs to plant her flag and declare herself the woman. He's either going to respect that or he's not. I get the impression that he's going to respect it. Maybe, maybe not. But if she never does that, she's going to get cheated on over and over and over again, not just with her best friend, but with Sally, the coworker, and with Janice, the hairdresser, and with, whoever, man. She's setting it up, herself up for failure. Like in the years that are going to ensue, he's going to know that his wife is a pushover. Not only could he do whatever he wants and just like announce, it's a completely normal thing. I'm just going to have drinks with some friends. Oh, who are you having friends with? Well, my girlfriend from the office or whatever. And she can't even object because she's never set that boundary. And so she's going to find herself in an open relationship that she never volunteered for or signed up for because she couldn't grow a pair and announce her intentions to be the main woman, to be the main thing at all times to this guy who is 3 years her senior. So announce your place and what you intend to be or forever acquiesce to getting cheated on for the rest of her relationship with this guy. That's all I got to say about that. How about that one?
Yeah.
What do you think, Pam?
Great. I agree.
Hell yeah. See, Pam always agrees with me. I need people that disagree. You know what? I like Bruce because Bruce always disagrees with me. Sometimes Pam will disagree with me, but it'll be like in Discord and stuff.
I mean, she just needs to talk about how things are. I mean, this is a situation, and she needs to talk
Exactly.
about it and set some boundaries.
Yeah, just set some boundaries.
Yeah.
And you know what? I need you to grab your balls and like put on your real deep voice and go up and announce that you are his lady, and he will have no other. You're gonna go see Chainsaw Man. You're gonna go see with me. She could tag along, but there ain't no way that I'm not gonna be there. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Time for a babysitter.
I don't know what her name is. I was gonna give her a WWF name, but I couldn't think one off the top of my head like that.
She could. She's gonna take Haley's trophy and throw it in the pond.
Fuck is Haley?
Haley's the open relationship lady.
Oh, Haley.
The bridesmaid.
Of course her name is Haley.
Just gonna take Haley to Niagara Falls and push her over the waterfall.
Is that metaphoric for something? For an aroused woman?
No, these are some bachelor throwback things.
All right, folks. We've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's all we got for Flad for today. But I'll tell you what, listen, we did we talked about a lot of stuff today. And for the coming 2025, we have a lot planned. I got a lot of plans. Me and Dominic have planned some things. And expect some big things for Flad. We might be changing up the format just a little bit. We might start to have this show as a premiere in the actual evening hours as opposed to like 12 o'clock on a Saturday or a Friday or whatever we do, because it's Family Law After Dark, not Family Law at Noon. But look, there's a lot that's bound to happen. So 2025 is going to be big. If you haven't done so, I want you to hit the subscribe button right now, because we have a goal. We want to get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of January. We have some big goals by the end of 2025. Me and Dominic have set a goal where we want to hit 50,000 subscribers. Fuck that. We're doing it. In 2024, we went from 1.7 thousand to 20,000. Well, 19.2 in the span of a year. If we're going to replicate that kind of growth in 2025, we at least need to hit 50,000. At least. If I feel like if I'm asking for more than that, it's asking too much. But these are our goals, and I need you guys' help to get there. So I need you guys to get the word out. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it already. Thank you so much to Bruce and my main moderator, Pam the Starchasm, for joining us on Flad. We love you all, and we will see you guys next week. And well, possibly on Monday for shows that are unforeseen. We'll see.
Really?
I love you guys. Oh,
All
yes.
right. Me too.
Oh, yes. I love you guys. Have a good weekend.
Good weekend.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.